Thank you, Mr. President, for giving me the floor. I'll make this brief. In your little over a year in the presidency, you have managed to cause a 40-year high inflation. We now have gas prices over $7 a gallon. We have Americans still left in Afghanistan. Russia's invaded Ukraine. There's a war going on the brink of World War III. We have out-of-control spending within our government. We have the worst border crisis ever, not to mention the entire COVID debacle over the last 2 years. We're an embarrassment. We're an embarrassment to the rest of the world. And quite frankly, I don't know how 80 million people ever supported you. Or did they really? All I can say is let's go, Brandon.
Thank you, Boris. And I want to thank that fellow down under. Thank you very much, pal.
Warning. The views in this program are based on the opinions of hosts and guests. We are four friends who like to sit around and talk about a variety of topics. This show may be political in nature and may appear one-sided if no one of opposition joins in on the conversation. We try to find common ground on sometimes sensitive topics. So grab a beverage of your choice and let's have a conversation.
Why don't you go home and cry to your granny? Dolph, tie up the brat. Lisa, hold the book. Vincent, get the truck. And Keith, darn it, change your name, please. That's not scary, and I'm embarrassed to say it. Boris, try that. Keith, watch out for Keith.
So we're going to have to divide up the rest of the characters, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting harder to do, though. Because as I change the videos, it's harder to separate him out of the group.
No, I'm just saying that, there's a Lisa in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can start adding other people.
Well,
Sure.
I'm just talking about somebody's got to be a Lisa.
Christine, hey, Boris.
Okay, I have a question. Who's the redhead in the background?
What redhead?
The bro behind Wendy.
I don't know. He's somebody wearing a mask.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was somebody we knew or Boris or
It kind of looks like Zuckerberg, though, doesn't it?
It does.
It does.
With his head down.
Well, the hair's a little redder than
True.
Yeah.
than the Zuck.
Yeah.
Then the Zuck.
Then the Zuckmeister. Welcome to Coffee Table Chronicles, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
March 18th.
Yay.
The 18th.
Yes. Yesterday, St. Patrick's Day. Did you guys do anything special for St. Patrick's Day?
Nope.
Did you drink?
Yes.
Did you eat corned beef and cabbage?
Remember, he had the cup full of rust.
That's right. Hey, what was that you were drinking, by the way?
That was whiskey.
Oh.
It looked
Of
like
course it
rust,
was
though,
whiskey.
didn't it?
But it was in this cup.
Oh.
And so, of course, it looks terrible.
It looked
Well,
like rust.
it was bourbon. It was bourbon and this is an Arctic cup, and so it's got a silver lining, so it just kind of
Looks like rust.
It looks like rust.
Yeah, so
It's a cup full of rust.
I got a text last night. That's what it was. We're talking about. We got a text group going, and another friend of ours texted right around dinner time that he had a Guinness going. So
And Keith chimed in.
I quickly, threw my picture of my whiskey that I was working on, and Keith had his Guinness or a chocolate.
That's
stout?
Guinness.
Guinness.
It's coffee stout.
Coffee stout.
And
Guinness
so
coffee stout.
we have one of those, what do you call it? Not email, text chains.
Yeah,
group
text
text.
chains.
Group
Group
text
text,
that
yeah.
just, all sorts of goofy stuff.
Who knows what could be said in there?
Went to your grandson's birthday
Well,
party.
happy
That's
birthday to your
awesome.
grandson.
Happy birthday.
We had corned beef and cabbage in Mom and Dad's new house.
Ooh,
Yes.
that's
Ooh,
awesome.
nice.
And the corned beef was really good,
Mhm.
actually.
It was really good. We were talking about that today, even. It was very good.
So how is their new house?
It's really nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah?
It's cute.
It's so nice. Got everything finally brought in and settled for the most part. Now it's just going to be unpacking and decorating. So that takes time though, where your pictures want to go, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Shit, it's been 5 years for us, and there's still pictures out.
In boxes. That's okay.
And boxes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's because Wendy still wants to repaint a wall here and there.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's
Nothing wrong
okay.
with that. No.
Why hang a picture when you got to take it back down to repaint?
Good point. That's a good
Exactly.
point. Good point.
I
Well,
agree.
sometimes hanging the picture makes you want to paint the wall, but you know.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, that's really
probably
bad.
how it started.
Right? Maybe we should hold off on
Yeah.
She put up 2 and she's like,
Yeah.
that. All right. We got a busy night tonight, as always.
Yes, we do.
You have a big news night?
Got a big news night.
Okay. So we'll go through these. We got a lot of freaking memes, too. It's another
Can we
busy
have a
week for
hooker?
memes.
Yeah,
No, we
and,
don't.
and the problem is, the memes are
2
supposed
weeks,
to be
no
1 or
hooker.
2, and it's just hard to pick 1 or 2.
Because lately there's so many good ones. So we'll try to go through them quick. We
I
always
can't
get
believe
off
that
on
2 weeks and no
topics.
hooker. Nobody
I know.
has particularly irritated me today. Oh, that's mine.
That was funny.
I
That was
like
cute.
that. That
Yes,
was not.
that's
The
funny.
snackle box.
That was not on there to be funny. That was on there because that's a good idea.
It
It
is a good idea.
is. I would agree with that.
I'm like, that wasn't a funny
Is
meme. That was
bacon
like a
and
hey,
eggs in
we
the
should
back?
Yeah.
we should do this meme.
Ooh.
Bacon and eggs. You have
Thank
like
you.
cheese and prosciutto or whatever in there. Nuts, little sausages, pepperonis, some more nuts, both olives. Ow, a stroke.
If you eat all that shit, yeah, you'll probably get a stroke.
Probably was.
Your
Maybe it
eyes
was
going
like-
right to your
It
body.
was
going,
like
"All right."
pre-heart attack pain. My God, that hurt really bad. 2 things of nuts, cheeses, and then more meat. Like that's all good.
That is a redneck buffet.
It is.
great.
That's right.
And you can have it right on your fishing boat.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Now
why
I don't
said
know how
that.
clean it will be after somebody touches it.
That doesn't matter.
And
Totally
just
fine.
take some Clover.
Yeah,
That's what
Yeah.
kills the Rona.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So please shoot someone. Please shoot someone. It's always the officer's fault. But if a bad guy shoots a person, it's the gun's fault, along with the gun manufacturer and the NRA.
Yep.
I thought you said if you please shoot someone. And I was like, what?
That's that's awesome.
That's funny. But if you go up into Cave Creek, you
Out
might,
here.
Oh, you'll see.
Yeah.
We
that,
see,
yeah.
yeah,
you
we
see
see that
that.
all the time already. You
Yeah.
see horses going through Dutch Brothers and everything. I'm like, yep.
The Dutch
But
Brothers and
hay's
the
just
Starbucks.
as expensive.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy. This is so true.
Yeah.
too.
This one
That happened.
we see every now and then, and just
It just makes sense,
I know
right?
it came back around, and I was like, we
That's
need
funny.
this again.
This is great. For sure, my employer wants me to work that day.
So I guess I'll be working. Yep.
This has been circulating a lot. This one
has
too.
it. I didn't
Yeah.
see this until just a couple days ago,
Yeah,
and so I thought, all right, we got to include.
Do we
this.
have the one on there? The window shopping one?
I don't know.
Okay.
I came
This
across
is
this and it was
funny,
funny as
isn't
hell. Sorry, but it was
Oh, that's awful.
talk about bad marketing.
That is terrible. And that's under new releases.
But the question is, has anyone ever seen Sausage Party?
No, but I heard about it though. I saw the trailer for it. Did you see
John?
it?
No, I
John?
have not.
No.
Didn't we start watching it because didn't Connor had seen it or said something about it?
I
And we
don't-
started
Can you
watching it.
mention
It's
it?
like,
I don't.
okay, this is dumb.
I don't remember that.
You know?
The name is Sausage Party. It's not going to be a brilliant movie.
Probably not.
No, it wasn't.
This is awesome, too. California asks residents to avoid charging
I-
electric cars amid power grid strain. That's awesome.
And I meant to look that up if that is actually true or not.
That wouldn't surprise me. They go through power shortages all the time anyway.
Right?
Right?
Well, in the summer
Like
they
they're
always have
rolling.
brownouts.
Yeah, they have their rolling power shortages.
There was a meme, or not a meme. It was actually a picture of a line of cars waiting
Mhm.
to.
It was a video.
Yeah,
It was a video of some
Yes.
lady sitting at Walmart, and there was a
Yes.
line, 2 rows of lines. Like it went through 2 rows
yes.
of parking to fill up to charge your electric car, to
Right.
charge your Tesla.
Yeah.
And she had asked someone, she's like, "How long does it take?" And they're like, "Well, typically
It depends.
30
yeah.
minutes, but lately it's been an hour because of just
You have to
the-"
wait in line. Yeah.
I'm like, why would you do that?
The problem with this one is I don't see too many cars with Biden stickers on them.
Nope.
No,
We've
they
not
scraped
out
them off,
here.
like in the previous one.
Right? They're all gone now. Like, fuck this. We're getting rid of this shit.
And I meant to look this one up and see if this is actually true, but this came from
21% pay raise. I've seen that a couple times.
Yeah.
The 21% pay raise
Yeah, that
I've
is
seen
true.
it too, yeah.
The only thing I question is whether they, sent 13.6 billion,
to another country.
right? Because I've seen that number fluctuate.
Yeah.
But even at that, they gave them the point is they gave themselves a pay raise when amongst
With
all the-
our money,
yeah.
by the way, we
Right.
gave them a pay raise that we didn't get to chime in on.
Yeah, that should be a national vote.
Yes.
Mhm.
It should be on the ballot.
Why do you get a pay raise anyways? It's a job. I didn't get a pay raise.
This is similar to the one that you sent me, Lindsay, but
No, but that was funny too. That's not the one I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. But that is similar to the one I sent you.
yeah.
Yeah.
This was funny.
Yep.
Drive off without paying.
Oh my goodness.
Until they want restitution for the
Right.
gas.
Right, exactly.
Well, that was at the hotel today. The girl went and filled up the shuttle because we have a shuttle that goes back and forth to the airport because we're right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was $350.
$350.
Christmas.
I was
God, I
like,
thought you'd
oh.
appreciate this in our line of work.
This goes under the category of why women live longer than men.
Right?
Absolutely. I think, a picture of you and my dad, something
What
similar to
We
this.
were not over a death-defying
You were,
Over
but
hole in the
stairs.
floor. No, but we were both up on a ladder because there was only room for one ladder.
Oh, that's
And
brilliant.
OSHA was nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found.
yeah.
That's awesome.
We should tell our ladder story one day, John. We're gonna keep that.
You terrify me on ladders. He's like standing on one foot, twisted around the other
Back
side,
in the day,
upside
we used
down.
to be able to do that.
Next time, take a picture.
I'm like,
because
what are you
it could be the
doing?
next
He could be the
No.
next meme. I just stand there and I'm like, yeah, I know.
This is great. Pick the bad generation to start World War III.
For
You can't even fight
real.
anxiety from being called the wrong by wrong.
Right?
That's awesome.
Call him a he, call him a her, and she freaks
Note
out.
that for later.
Right.
Yeah, no shit. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
For real. I agree with that one. No. So my meme was similar
That actually
to
came
that.
from Trump Jr.
To
Did it
that.
really?
What did
Yes.
it? So my meme was similar to that one where he's scraping off the Biden sticker, and it has like the guy by the gas pump, and he's standing there next to his car, and he's like, "Oh, can I fill her up?" And he's like, "No, I'm just window shopping." How it's gonna be doing the math in your head? How much do I get to have?
The one I didn't put on there was I just saved it to my phone. Was gas is so expensive I had to cancel TV. So now we're sitting in front of the pump to get the news for free. I had to show the news or whatever. It was pretty funny. It was funny.
When I was back in Chicago and I was filling up the rental car, someone had stuck a picture of Biden pointing to the total sign and
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, I did
I
that."
did that,
and I
yeah.
meant to take a picture and I forgot.
Oh, those
We
are
have them at our
stickers.
Circle K right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Those are stickers you can get everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, can you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh, yeah.
they got
They
you
have
can
Trump,
get that, and then they have Kamala going, and I helped,
Yep.
and you
Yeah.
have
and there's a
plants.
Trump one that said I had nothing to do with this or something
Yes.
like that. Yeah.
I just thought it was funny because you see it on,
Yeah.
wherever.
You never
I
really
just-
get to see it
I
yeah.
know. I
The
was
funniest
like,
part
there
is the
it
people at
is.
Circle K get pissed because they got to
because they have to
them
go
off.
scrape them off.
And then as soon as they scrape them off, somebody else puts
Puts
it back
another
on.
one,
So it's a
yeah.
never-ending cycle.
Down
Yeah.
in Texas.
Out
they
here, it never ends.
down in Texas, every other one you'd see that were on them, and you see on the ones that didn't, you'd see the little remnants of where they had to scrape it
Scrape
off,
it
the night, the
Yep.
night before.
Oh,
That's how it is out here. It's so funny.
That's
I don't know if they've given up or not yet.
Crazy. All right, you ready for some news?
Ready for some news?
News.
Okay, let's hear it.
The new improved news.
Oh, okay. So the news.
New and improved. Ooh.
I don't know. I don't know about new and improved. So obviously,
New for this week,
we
improved
are,
from last week.
Day 24 of the war in Ukraine. Zelensky was talking to all the world leaders today, this previous week, and he made the announcement that World War III may have already started. So just kind of a little shocking thing there.
Hold on. Are we actually shocked? Okay. I was just making
Well,
sure.
I mean, this may be shocking. So this was out of the actual Kyiv news. So this is from Ukraine. And so 109 empty strollers outside the Lviv City Council building and highlight the number of children killed by Russians.
Wow.
Wow. That's crazy.
You know,
Wow.
so just
That's
kind of
sad.
that's kind of an all telling picture there. I thought that was kind of
A
pretty.
reality check.
Yeah, that's a big reality check.
That's actually not as many as I thought it would be.
well, I mean,
That's just kids.
these
though.
are, but see,
Yeah, it's just children, but that's not as many as I thought it would be.
well,
Right.
I mean, the idea is, and
Because it's war.
the atrocities of what they're doing about. But see, now the
Mm.
Geneva Convention, which was signed, which included the Russians in 1949,
Yeah.
says that you would do everything in your power to not hurt non-combatants.
Okay.
Civilians.
So them doing these,
Well, if you're-
you know, so they have these corridors, these safe corridors, and then they're
Yeah.
still bombing and shooting rockets in there and things like that. Total violation of the Geneva Convention, where they're, you know, that did you hear about and it's in
Did
the
you
news here.
expect them to abide by it?
Well, I mean, these are human right type things that every human should kind of basically say, you know, we shouldn't be going after women and children
right.
unless they're holding a gun.
I
kind
get
of a
that, but
thing.
let's face it. I mean,
It's war.
He
I-
invaded Ukraine on what basis?
Well, I mean, true. Wendy, you're actually
mean,
very right. And,
That pretty much tells you what his state of mind is. He really doesn't care.
and Lindsay, you're right in the respect that, I mean, we have several, and this has gone on in Afghanistan and Iran or Iraq for obviously 2 decades, where they were using women and children as human shields.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And, you know, but it is part of what we signed, and it's part of being
Holy
who we
Lord,
are.
baby Jesus.
the,
Did you see that?
the mosquito?
Oh my God.
it's getting
not a-
warmer in
It's
here.
not a
Just think
mosquito.
it's landed
It was the
someplace.
size of the cat.
That's one of those mosquito eaters. That's what
Yes.
it
Oh, so it's
Why does he only come out during the show and I never see him any other time in life?
is. I don't know.
because you don't come up here.
because he knows he's safe.
Apparently.
You're
'cause I
not going to
can't
get up
chase him.
and go chase him. Absolutely.
Oh my God, he's on my
But
phone.
here's the question to that question though. Can he be charged with war crimes at that point?
So
And
From
would do it?
who?
allegedly,
Yeah, someone-
there are
From
already
Sippy Cup
lawyers.
president?
There are already lawyers in the United States and probably elsewhere. I haven't heard anything about elsewhere, but you know, there are lawyers somewhere that are keeping track,
Right.
that are marking these things down, and will probably bring him up on charges allegedly later. Now, Dan brings up that Putin doesn't give a shit about the Geneva Convention.
No, he doesn't give a crap
But
about
we'll see what
anything.
happens. We'll see what happens when it's all said and done. Now, granted, are we gonna go storming into Moscow and grab him out of the Kremlin and put him in front of a court? I doubt that. So.
Yeah.
But usually war crimes are charged after the war's over, right? They don't have it.
Sure.
Well,
ever been
see,
done
Yeah.
during the
in
war?
the past, war crimes have been charged. You know, so like there was the Nuremberg trials, and there was the trials that after World War II for both the Japanese and the Germans. And the thing is, though, that we invaded those countries, or not invaded, but we got all the way to their capital and made them surrender. So here, we just want them to stop and recede back across their line and stop. There was no, as far as I know, now maybe Dan can tell me something different. I don't think there was any war crime tribunal for the Korean War or the Vietnam War, or as far as I know, I don't think, other than Saddam Hussein, I don't think there was any tribunals for anything with Desert Storm. I could be wrong. So, but it's incredibly sad. You see some of these things that are going on. They bombed that theater yesterday, the day before. So they literally, they had satellite shots that showed, they wrote in big letters on both sides of this theater, big building, right? Both sides said children.
Yep.
So as to notify aircraft, this is
There's children, like I
there's
said.
children in here, and they still bombed it.
Jesus.
Wow.
It's war.
It doesn't matter.
It
Why
doesn't
does it
matter
not matter?
because
It
you're
doesn't
only
matter.
supposed
You're
to
supposed to fight each other.
you're only
Military.
supposed to it's only supposed to be military on military.
It's never, ever, 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 ever been military on military.
I get that, but the whole idea was it was supposed to be a kinder, gentler war. I know Lindsay's looking at me going, "What?"
No, I see what she's saying, that,
if
What-
you
What
have
do they
no
say? All's fair in the
all's
game
fair
of
in love and war.
Yeah, but you
So
can't.
what does it matter whether it's the mom and the babies and you just killed her husband?
I mean, I get it. We are just as guilty as a nation, you know.
But we're wrong for sitting here going brushing it off, saying, "Oh well, it's just war." Fuck it.
It
It is war,
happens.
but that's what I'm saying. Why are we surprised that they're killing women and children? It's
that
war.
that amounts
Right. I'm
that
not-
amount of children.
I'm not
That's a
su-
lot of children.
Well, I'm not surprised
100
that it's
children, that's
Putin
nothing. It's a
doing
lot.
this. Yes, is it wrong? Absolutely,
Yes.
without a
That's
doubt.
out of
Am I surprised that Putin is doing it?
No, not at all.
I'm not.
109.
I mean,
so 109 in 24 days.
It's sad.
109 in 24 days.
It
3
should
days.
it should never have
And
happened.
that's I don't know how old that picture is. That might be from yesterday.
So no war crimes for Korea and Vietnam.
Okay.
So I also have a separate question, which could totally take us off of all of the news, and I apologize.
I'm ready. I'm buckled in.
Why is it that we care that Russia's taking over Ukraine when we didn't care about the last 2 countries that Russia was bombing and took over?
Which were parts of Ukraine.
No, it was shit. Dad told me and I forgot.
Who told you?
My dad. Oh,
Okay.
he knows.
Get him on the phone.
No, you don't want to talk to him. He's probably smashed by now.
We're getting there.
That might
It'll-
be even
Working on it.
more
I know,
fun.
it-
That might be,
was-
come on. That makes for good radio.
It was, who did he say?
You talk to him. I didn't talk to him.
He's going to go on speaker. Who knows what could happen?
You might want to let him know you're on speaker.
Oh, I should probably tell him. Talk to him first.
So there was a confirmation of an American who died in Ukraine. If you hadn't seen that.
Was that the reporter?
No, it wasn't a reporter. This guy was actually there. He
Hey, I'm going to ask you a question. Who was the 2 countries that Russia just bombed and nobody cared? What was it? Crimea
was during
in
the
2014.
Obama, that was during the Obama administration.
Okay, who was the other one? You told me there was another one.
And Crimea was
And it
part of Ukraine.
It wasn't Crimea.
It was the Crimea area of Ukraine.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
But that was during Obama.
Right.
So
But I
nobody
never
cared.
heard about it.
Right. Well, it was said it was newsworthy back then, and then there's been 2 other sections of Ukraine of that, you know, and I spoke
burned
about
my
this
beer.
a half dozen episodes ago,
Mhm.
that there were 2 sections of Ukraine that have been under dispute since 2014
Mhm.
or whatever it's been. And but the whole point is they were not actively shooting, I guess is the big thing. You know, they
They were like bombing and stuff.
they were doing small little insurgent type stuff for the most part. And
They're still killing
like,
people.
but now they're killing people. Now
They
they're
were still
actively-
killing people then.
Now they're actively killing people. Well, they were, but it was like insurgency type stuff. So this was, I'm not saying that it's
So like
right
they
or
were,
wrong.
but it was fine.
It was,
They
it was
weren't
a
killing-
softer,
they
it was
weren't-
a softer, kinder, gentler war.
They weren't killing
So,
civilians.
A softer, kinder, gentler war.
Where does that come up? I just saw that phrase, that little catchphrase
Really?
today. Yeah,
Oh,
and I'm like, what is
okay.
that supposed to mean?
Can I have your cup?
So the guy that died in Ukraine, the American that died in Ukraine, his name was James Hill. He was 68 years old. He was not a reporter. He actually was there because his wife was there his wife is Ukrainian, and he was there, or they were there for some kind of medical procedure, I think it was. So,
Who goes to Ukraine for a medical procedure?
Ukrainians.
you know, whatever.
I'm
So-
just curious.
People
I mean,
who have Obamacare, probably.
Yeah. So
That's
did
where
you
they're
see that?
contracted out to.
Right.
Did you see that some lawyer for Russia wants Alaska back?
I
Really?
saw that.
You know, go ahead. I'll bring this up later.
So did you see what
Go ahead.
the governor of Alaska's response was?
No.
Suck a wiener.
This right here. Good luck with that. Not if we have anything to say about it. We have hundreds of thousands of armed Alaskans and military members that will see it differently.
Yeah,
He
There
basically
you go.
said
they don't.
just
yeah.
the same
Bring
thing.
it on, huh?
You know, just
Come
a
on.
slightly gentler version of the whole, hey, Russia, go fuck
Go
yourself.
fuck yourself. Right. Exactly.
And then they rethought that because they realized that probably wouldn't.
Well,
be.
they said it was never going to happen.
Oh,
I
they're
mean, we
stretched
bought
kind of.
Alaska
They're
fair
busy
and
right
square
now.
in the 1800s.
Well,
And
they're
there's
busy
a fort,
right now.
actually, part of that also. There's a fort in California that was also bought. They want that back too.
A fort.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, they can have California.
I was like,
I know, right?
we'll trade you
But
all
that's
California.
too close to us.
No, no, no.
We'll just
actually,
Oh,
build a
let them
wall.
come into
Yeah.
Arizona. Come
I
on
think
now.
We could
That's
literally.
too close.
No,
No,
I'd be willing to give them California.
Have California. You have to make sure that Pelosi's over there too with their Xanaxes and her vodka.
So obviously here targeting schools and theaters. We already talked about that. Biden's called Putin a war criminal. Did you see this actually was a development as of this morning? Russian troops are shooting themselves in the legs. They're actually taking Ukrainian weapons and shooting themselves in the legs so they get sent back.
But is
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
is that just,
Being
you
a
hear all
girl?
this
Are they the
propaganda?
he, she's?
No, it's because they don't want to fight.
They don't want to fight.
They don't believe in. What
They're
they're
finding
doing.
out that this is
A scam?
a scam.
Mm.
So did you see, and I meant to put it in here and I completely forgot about it until now. Did you see the Russian TV station behind the camera type person? So they're doing a newscast, regular newscast, right?
Yep.
And so the anchor woman is sitting there at the desk reading the news, and then all of a sudden somebody that normally is behind the camera runs out there with a big poster board and holds it up and says, "They're lying, stop the
Oh,
war."
I did see that. I
And
saw a
and
picture
they
of that.
cut off. They switched
Yeah.
the camera within a second or two.
But
Yep.
you could
But
clearly
you
see
can
it.
see it.
Yeah.
I
And
saw that picture.
And then no, I can't find any. I was looking and I couldn't find anything about it.
What?
Of course not, because the media
Because
knows how
guess
to
what?
cover it up.
Yeah, one word, gulag.
Yeah,
So
especially
you
there,
know, they because I did see a video of a reporter in, I forget what Moscow's version of Times Square is, but wherever the
Tiananmen, not Tiananmen.
Moscow-
that's
Moscow Square.
That's China.
No,
Red Square,
Red Square.
Red
Thank
you.
Square.
Jesus,
So
I
in
don't know why
Red
I said
Square,
Tiananmen.
and there's a reporter there, and they're videoing with just their phone.
Yeah.
Nothing special, I don't think. And so this one woman literally holds up something a little bit bigger than a postcard
Yeah.
about anti-war, and all of a sudden 2 or 3 armed guys grab her and gone.
Wow. Well, that was
We'll
the
never
whole,
see her again.
that was their like protests, right? Is they were allowed to stand there and they could yell, but they couldn't hold signs because people in other countries can read signs.
Yes.
Right.
Nobody can interpret that.
Nobody can interpret Russian.
Google
apparently,
Translate.
apparently they think you
I
can't.
just gotta ask the
I'm just
question.
saying. Do you have a happy story in here?
I have a bunch of happy stuff at the end.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a happy story too, if it's not one of
Okay.
yours.
So bioweapons.
Ooh.
So was there something that was mentioned last week about bioweapons possibly in Ukraine?
it was
biolabs.
biolaboratories.
Biolaboratories.
Biolabs.
Correct.
Yeah.
So did you see the video from Tulsi Gabbard?
No.
No.
Tulsi Gabbard came out and said earlier in the week, probably around the beginning of the week, that there is undisputable evidence saying that there is biolabs in Ukraine and why they're funded by the US, and why have we not gone in there
Oh, I did see that.
and do anything? Why did we not do anything about it while they were amassing on the border? Why did we not do anything while they just came across the border? And why is it we're still not doing anything now? There's a bunch of people that are saying it's Russian disinformation about the labs, and they're using it because the Russians are actually claiming this exact same thing and claiming this is part of the reason why they had to invade. So the White House and several others are claiming that it's a deep fake put on by the Russians. I'm just pointing it out because it is literally one of those things that we
Close to
might
Wuhan.
want to just keep our eye on it, because of the fact that we can't trust which side to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, we're going to cover it up because we just got done with a 2-year pandemic. You think we want to?
Well, I mean, now the thing is, there has been so much disinformation on both sides, both
Mm-hmm.
the Russians and the Ukrainians, that we don't know if it is actually BS coming from the Russians to prove. It's kind of like the whole, W Bush saying
Weapons of
basically,
mass
weapons of mass destruction, and we got to go in there before they get us, type of a thing. So we don't know. On the other hand, just to kind of keep an eye on, Taiwan needs a strong support to resist Chinese regime emboldened by the Western policy errors. So we've been, tripping over ourselves for the last year and a half, and we need to keep track of what China is doing. Now, granted,
Mm-hmm.
China, there, several of the quote unquote talking heads on TV are sitting there and saying now that China might be double thinking about this because it clearly has not gone well for Russia. And they have 75% of their military force there in Ukraine. And this is, they're being held off by a bunch of citizens with guns.
But not only that, but if they invade Taiwan, doesn't now NATO get involved?
Taiwan is not a NATO country.
It's not?
Taiwan is not officially recognized as a independent country.
Okay.
So what is it part of?
Technically, it's a rogue state.
Oh,
Still
so it's
part
considered
of-
a state,
Still
not a
part of
country.
China.
Okay.
Interesting.
So here's a dumb question: is Ukraine part of NATO?
No.
No. Or else
That's-
we would
that-
be at war if that was the case.
And that is the whole
now.
point, because they talked about it. And Dan Bongino actually had a great segment that I watched the other day that talked about, he had somebody on that talked about the whole Article 5. You keep hearing about Article 5, and and the short version of Article 5 is that NATO says that if you attack one, you attack us all.
Mhm.
Okay.
And on the other hand,
So who's part of NATO?
so the original NATO, and I'm not going to be able to name off every single country, but it's going to be like, us, Canada, the UK, Spain, Germany, France,
Okay.
all those. And then we also went in and we got Poland is now part of NATO. Belarus is not.
So there's a good amount
Some
of
of
people.
the Baltic states are now part of NATO.
Like
Okay.
France?
So, but the whole point is that Article 5 does not supersede the Constitution or any of the other charters for the other countries either. So, like in the United States, the president can ask Congress to
Go to
vote for war,
Right.
but it's Congress's sole authority to be able to institute a war.
Okay.
So,
So he can't
so the presidential powers, the War Powers Act allows him to be able to do whatever he wants to with the military, technically, for 60 days.
okay.
Oh,
And then
wait.
after the 60th day,
He has
Congress
to convince.
he either has to pull the troops back, and that's to go anywhere overseas. The Congress either has to pull the troops back or they have to declare war.
Okay.
That's the War Powers Act in a nutshell. It's a little bit
Okay.
more complicated than that, but that's
Okay.
exactly it.
That makes sense to me. I gotcha.
But what conflict was it wasn't officially declared a war? Was it Afghanistan or
Everything after World War II has never been declared a war.
okay?
They've
Even though
all been
Afghanistan, we were over there for
And
2
Desert Storm?
years.
Yeah.
20 years.
It was a
20 years,
It was
yeah.
a military. What they call that?
so
back
like
then.
What about Desert Storm?
Vietnam was a police action.
Right.
A police action.
That's exactly
I
what
didn't
it's
see no
called.
fucking police officers over
That
there.
was what it was called. It was a
That's what
police
it was
action.
called.
So it was a police action. Korea might have been a police action. Obviously, Afghanistan after 9/11 was just a, we're going to go fuck somebody up because we're pissed.
Yeah.
And Iran,
That's true.
Iran was just a, faulty intelligence. They, some of the things that I've read post W in the fact that he and his intelligence folks denied the intelligence. They would only look for things that validated that there were weapons of mass destruction. They denied the things that said no. So, if they want to sit there and say that W went to war just to be able to vindicate his father, that's a possibility.
Thank you, Christine. There are 30 countries in NATO.
It's a lot.
Good
That's a
job.
lot.
I believe you both.
Christine.
It's a lot.
There are a lot. I just know that Ukraine is not. So, but right next door, Poland is. Belarus to the south or southwest of Ukraine is not.
Okay.
But that's why they were worried that Putin was going to push into the Baltic states, because that would bring us.
That would. The
into-
Baltic states
yeah.
are part of
Yeah.
NATO. Yes.
Yep.
So, Biden doles out. This was an interesting story. Biden doles out more ethic waivers in the past year than Trump did his entire 4.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
There's
What is
Mayor-
she doing? Giving kisses?
That's just more importantly for you. That's Mayor Pete on the left. That's Buttigieg.
Oh, there you go.
That's
Now you know
Buttigieg?
who he
That's
is.
That dude is Buttigieg.
That is
Yeah.
your buddy Buttigieg.
He doesn't look like a girly man. That's very surprising.
So the People's Convoy is still going on in Washington. They are circling the Beltway daily. They're getting a little bit of pushback from some of the state troopers.
Awesome.
So they're
A little
having
bit of pushback's fine.
they're having some issues with And they're being very cordial. Some of the videos that I'm watching, they're being very cordial in the fact that they are, some of the states are like closing highways and causing disruption for the truckers to be able to get around the Beltway. You know, I didn't catch if it was Maryland or if it was Virginia, but the truckers are being cool. You know, they're doing whatever they got to not cause.
Not raising
It's
any
not
hell
like
yet.
they're plowing into downtown, Washington, D.C. and just, jacking traffic
Crap up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but they are making themselves known. And unfortunately, there's
job.
very little
Yeah.
media going on. So did you see USA Today this week?
No, but I really have been reading
Woman
what
of
you
the
have
year?
down.
Are you serious? Oh my God.
That is not a woman. I want to see her vagina.
Be careful what you
I wanna
ask for.
see it.
That's, thank
Right.
you,
Careful what
Wendy.
you
Thank
ask
you.
for.
Thank
Nope,
you. That's
I wanna
exactly.
see
Be
it.
careful
Be
what you
careful.
wish for.
Nope.
You might not want to see it.
Because that ball sack all sewed up ain't going to look the same. I want to see it.
Man.
That is
So-
not a woman.
USA Today had plenty of, even if you wanted to take all the far left women you wanted to,
That's what you picked.
You had the
You couldn't even pick what's
the
the,
justice that's
athlete, bro. What's
Jenner.
the
you got all
Thank
the
you. You couldn't
athletes,
even
you got-
pick Jenner,
you
who
got-
at least
you
got
the
tits
justice
and like a
that's been
vagina.
picked to go on the Supreme Court. You think that would have been a huge win to be able to sit there and,
Of course
and
not.
wave
You
the
have to pick
flag
a man.
of the justice that is going to be, that Biden had nominated for the Supreme Court. You think that would have been a no-brainer, right?
Absolutely. You pick a man.
Kamala Harris, all these different, pick that
Pick a
person
man.
right there.
That'd be a man.
So then I wanted to show this tweet from Sydney Watson. She is hysterical sometimes.
I was trying to read this.
Sorry.
Women have nothing left that's ours. Anyone can appropriate our sex. We are referred to as bleeders and pregnant people. Biological men beat us out in our own spaces. Women don't have any definition or meaning, and we're expected to accept our own erasure.
Yeah, not my kind of woman.
It's what happened to, women's rights and stuff. And now all of a sudden it's just like, it's gone the
Doesn't
other way.
matter.
All of a sudden that pendulum just swung completely past. you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go back to that picture of the he she real
Of the
quick.
man.
When you
The
first
trans.
when you first look at that, it looks like Dana Carvey in Wayne's World, doesn't it?
Totally tubular.
Sorry.
She looks like it looks like it's having a stroke.
Oh man.
And look at those teeth,
and the
bro.
funny thing is, even some of the criticism basically says woman of the year for what?
I was
She
just
has
going to ask
done
what,
nothing.
Right.
No.
I was just going to ask, what was it that she did to earn that
Nothing.
title?
Nothing. She literally,
Grew hair and said I'm a woman.
she did even more.
Stop calling it a she.
more heinous acts in the fact that this person,
Thank you.
see, that was pretty good, wasn't it? Can I have another shot? And so this person
You have to go to the other. We finished the banana.
Yeah.
pulled their mother out of the nursing home and then turned around when they were the state health official before the Biden
Yes,
administration.
pre-Rona.
No, during the Rona,
Oh, during Rona.
pre-Biden, pulled their mother out of the
Nursing home.
nursing home and then turned around and said, all these people need to be admitted into the nursing homes that got released from the hospitals because the hospitals are overflowing.
What?
Hospitals are overflowing with Rona patients,
Yeah.
including elderly, and told the nursing homes they have to take them, Rona or not.
Well, isn't that what kind of like tipped off all the
But
cases?
that's what happened. That's what happened in New York.
Right. That's
And-
why they
and-
all had the cases and so many died from
And
it.
that's how the Rona spread, and then everybody died.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it any coincidence that there's a McDonald's sign right to the right?
Not
of
at
it?
all. You see
No.
that heifer? Look at that triple chin.
Triple chin.
Oh my God.
Look at there's one. It's a butt chin, and then there's two more under it. That's where he
So,
holds the penis.
This
apparently.
article is a good article. I thought everybody should, if you get a chance to read it. Marxism is hidden in many forms in the U.S. already,
Yes.
and it's immediately right behind socialism.
Yep.
So if you're sitting there and you think that socialism is going to be fun, guess what's right behind it?
Please
Yeah.
go somewhere else.
Did you see this disappointing fact?
I think you had good stories.
A poll. I did
Yes.
it later.
We haven't gotten to them yet.
Sorry.
So there was a poll that if the U.S. were attacked just like Ukraine, 38% they would flee the country.
Let's do it.
I
That
pulled
would
up the
weed out a
information
lot
about
of-
this.
That would
68
totally help us clear shit out.
So 68% of the GOP voters said they would stay in the U.S. compared to 40% of Democrats. More than half of Democrats, 52%, said they would leave
Oh,
the
come on.
country.
They've been threatening to leave the country forever.
I know,
Bye.
right?
They said if Trump got in, they would leave.
They
They're
would
still
leave.
freaking here. You know, what a joke.
Well,
if a
somebody
man
shooting
became
at
a
them,
woman, they
I-
would leave.
I doubt they're going to pick up a gun. They're going to leave.
No, they're definitely
No.
not pick up a gun.
Please leave. Bye. Then can we build our wall?
So, and
Sorry.
that's just that, and that will actually be.
Where
part
are you
of-
going to go?
That'll be part of something I bring up.
Canada.
Canada's not going to let your ass in. Canada
See, and
does
they-
not
and
play
they-
that game.
And they fail to realize that Canada will not just let everybody
Canada will
in.
not let you in.
Nope.
Canada, you have to prove that you're going to be constructive.
Not
person.
even
Citizen,
that. Like
yeah.
they won't let you in. We had 5 or 6 Canadians that came up with when they were having all those fake Rona tests, came up with a positive Rona, and they're like, "No, you ain't coming back. You got 14 days.
All right, be on the watch.
Wouldn't
out for
even let
Dan
you
to-
in."
I'm watching for Dan to put something up about going to Canada because I'll bet he's done the research.
No.
See, that's
there
that's
it
how
is.
you
Look
get
at
rid of
that.
it.
like clockwork.
I agree
See,
with that.
that's not
Let's
the
do it.
response I'm looking for, but okay.
I'm good with that. Bye.
So another tennis star, big tennis star out of the Ukraine.
I saw that. Got arrested and
No, that was an NBA star. That was
Oh,
a WNBA
okay.
star from the US, but a Ukrainian tennis star
I don't know what that
Quit.
is.
quit her day job as a tennis star to join
To fight?
fighting.
Oh,
Oh, really?
to join
Wow.
the fight.
They're 100% letting people come over. 100%. Come on over.
Wow.
Yeah. Zelensky did say that he doesn't care where you were from, what nationality you are.
If
If
you
you
will
want to
fight
fight,
with them,
we will give you a gun and let you fight.
let's do it.
I
Uh,
won't say. I'll wait.
You'll wait?
Yeah, I'll wait. I'll let
March
you finish.
Madness.
You wouldn't go, would
Did
you?
you see that number 15 upset number 2 Kentucky? This has only happened 10 times in NCAA history that a number 2 got upset by number 15.
You know, you gotta
I don't know what
have
that
that
means.
just to
Somebody,
keep people
Wendy and I
on
were
their
talking about
toes.
this. Yeah, Wendy and I were talking to us on the drive over, and you know they were
Good job, Christine.
They were obviously
Well.
not paying attention to the game they were playing. They were worried about the game ahead of them.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
guess what? You're gonna
Now
watch
they
it from
ain't going to
home.
be playing that game ahead of them.
Yeah,
Yep.
you are watching it from home.
Yep.
Business economy.
Oh, jeez.
Mm.
Did you see that the House Democrats blocked the energy independence bill?
I
Oh
don't
my
know. What is up
God.
with that?
So explain what that bill is.
Yeah, I don't know what
So
that is.
basically, it was going to open the Keystone Pipeline. It was going to do all these things that we keep screaming that we want the administration to do.
Yeah.
They were going to do it. And the Democrats were like, nope.
Of course not.
So stupid.
Why would you? Why would
Because,
they?
again, they don't care about us.
Right.
Nope, because they are 100% fine with us all going to electric cars, and then we're sorry, there's rolling blackouts.
On the other hand, congressional liberals are pressing Biden to declare a national emergency to restrict fossil fuels. So they are not only blocking the energy independence bill, they're doubling down on we need to
Restricting
restrict
fossil
fossil fuels. Everybody needs to drive a Tesla.
That's
You wanna know
AOC. That's all
I am
AOC. driving
I am
that shit.
100% fine when gas becomes $12 a gallon to sit home on fucking unemployment. Hell yeah, I can't afford to go to work.
So
Sorry.
my question is, are these just small groups, and these small groups then people
Scream the loudest.
they scream and
Yes.
they get viewed as this is, this huge group instead of just these splinter
5
groups.
people. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
right.
see, the problem is, and you're under normal circumstances, I would say yes. But the problem is that you have enough people that are concerned. AOC is a prime example. AOC keeps tossing out their crumbs
Someone needs to
that
take
she
out that hooker.
that she might run against Schumer. Schumer is worried enough that because he all of a sudden can't go left enough to be able to get on board with her base.
Right.
And he's scared to death that he's going to get lost in the crowd and she's going to take his Senate seat. In the meantime, Schumer is sitting there and telling Nancy, we need to go more left. We need to go more left. And then he's also telling Biden, we need to go more left. We need to go more left because I'm going to lose my seat.
Yep.
And that's all they're concerned about.
Yep.
So did you see that the Fed, now this, affects everybody.
Woohoo.
Fed
Come on over,
raised interest
Christine.
rates.
We'll take you.
Christine, I will say this, and I've said this in the past, if I were ever to be, in some crazy way of running for president,
Hey.
I would say, if you are a Democrat because you've traditionally been a Democrat, I would say you need to take a long, hard look at your party and see if they still represent you.
Yep.
I'm not saying you need to change parties. I'm just saying take a look at what your quote unquote party is doing and do they still represent your values?
Well, same can be said for the Republicans.
I can
gotten to the
100%
point-
say that because
for
the
either
Republicans,
side.
Well,
but
with
I think,
anyone, because
I think that there is a good quiet revolution happening on the Republican side because there are enough mixed races, mixed backgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
normal people, working people, things like that, that are infiltrating into the Republican Party, that I think the Republican Party is more representative of the people. At least that's my personal view, because I see these people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I see these what's her name, Boebert, and I was talking about this last week where she, her husband still is back home running the restaurant in Colorado.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
And things like that. And there's enough common people that are out there doing this on the Republican side versus the Democrat side. Seems to
They're all
these,
corporate politicians.
and they've been there forever. And it's like, Nancy Pelosi does not represent anybody I know.
Well, neither did Joe Biden. How long was he in politics prior to running for
47
president?
years.
Yeah, 47.
And what happened? Nothing. He did
And
nothing.
it's the same thing. I don't know who these people represent because I don't know how San
How do
Francisco.
they even know what people are going through when you've been that disconnected that long?
Well,
You don't know anybody
especially,
normal.
I don't know how the people in Nancy Pelosi's district sit there and figure that
She's representing them.
Yeah, some woman that owns 300, that has a personal wealth of $300 million or whatever it is,
Herself.
represents them.
But
I don't know.
But I think a lot of people just vote because either their parents voted either Democrat or
That's what
Republican,
they just were.
without really realizing what the topics are, what the particular people
Are standing for.
represents,
Mhm.
what their ideas are, what they're for, what they're against. I think so many people literally just bury their head in the sand.
And I'm a Democrat.
Exactly.
Democrat.
They don't really take, I don't get into politics, and it's like I get that because I was in those.
Yeah, we were there
I was
too.
that person.
Yeah.
Right.
Until
But you have to educate yourself on what you're representing. If I'm saying that I'm voting Democrat or I say that I'm voting Republican, I need to know what I'm voting for.
but a lot of people don't.
Right.
They just vote to vote because they see it's
Then they can get a sticker and say I voted.
either that or they're being told to vote for this particular thing or to
Yeah.
vote for that.
Oh, you're Democrat, you need to
they're
vote for
afraid
us.
to go against their family. You have
Yeah.
somebody, if you have a family that's all
True.
Democrats, but one person wants to be on the Republican side, their fear of retribution, I guess, from the family.
Well,
So
if
they
you're
I
voting,
did it.
they're not going to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would say don't tell him, but I did it. I have family
I was
that
gonna
doesn't
say,
talk
when
to
are
me
you going
anymore.
to tell your family we do this podcast?
Oh, they know. They see my posts all the time. Yeah, I have one cousin who won't speak to me at all anymore. At all.
And I see you're very sad
It
about it.
hurts my feelings.
And
very
Christine, I
much.
know exactly what you're saying. I know a lot of good friends. I mean, dear friends of mine that are Democrats just because they've always been.
Always been.
Democrats.
And I think
And
that's how our
and I
family
have to ask
was.
the
Like, that's
question
what it's
now,
always been.
You need to take a look at what is the Democrat Party standing
What you're
for.
representing. And does
And-
that represent you?
And
Like
I
you
know
said.
I know some older folks that used to be, Kennedy Democrats. And it's like, if you look
He's
back
not
on
around
what
anymore.
Kennedy stood for now,
He was a different Democrat.
it's
Yeah.
it's the same thing that what the Republicans stand for
Right.
today.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to advocate for the Republicans, but I mean,
Those
Keith and I
values
were-
have changed.
Keith and I were texting earlier this week, and I saw this tweet, meme, whatever the hell it was, and I said it to Keith, and he's like, absolutely, because we went from 3 years ago having the best economy ever in the history of this country to we are looking down the barrel of a possible economic collapse
Mhm.
in 3 years.
Absolutely.
And there's
In 1 year.
and there are people
Because we were still thriving during Rona.
to
we
an
weren't
extent.
doing
I mean,
great,
it depends
but
on
we
which
were
way
doing
you wanna
okay.
look at it. I mean, the stock market and the employment
holding
took
on.
took a
We
crash.
were holding on.
but
But
we
that's
were
because
poised,
people were sick and we
we-
closed everything.
we
I
were
mean, what do you
poised to come back
expect?
out of it, and but we seem to have these people that are in charge now. I don't know what you want to call it. I mean, they seem to like they're trying to do it on purpose.
Yeah. Like, let's see how
Well,
bad
they
we
are.
can
They've
make
been
it.
trying to push this agenda for a long time, and now they use COVID as a vehicle to get it going. And now they're all on board. They're not going to give up. Now they're just
Yeah.
going to keep going full bore with this.
So it's interesting.
And-
So, I mean, in reading this article here about, so the Fed raised the interest rate for the
Right.
first time since 2018 to fight inflation. They went up 0.25%. And so, and you know, the next story goes on. Actually, I want to go to this story because the Federal Reserve is predicting that there may have to be 6 more rate hikes before
Yeah.
the end of the year.
I knew it. I heard that
Before
I
the
heard
end
that.
of
Didn't
the
I tell you
year.
that?
Yep.
I told you that.
Before the end of the year.
They're looking at
So,
7 rate hikes this year.
I mean, and then they talk about, I went back and I was reading some articles about what had to be done during the latter part of the Carter administration and the beginning of the Reagan administration. And I remember being a kid and interest rates getting up into the 20% range.
So what is that going to affect? Let's break that down for people. What is that going to affect? When you say interest rates are going to rise,
So
what
the
does that
whole
affect?
idea-
Does that affect my credit card I have right now with my
Mortgages,
debt on it?
Probably.
mortgages.
Okay,
It'll-
so that's going to go up.
Yep.
So my payment now that I'm making is now going to be more interest and not towards my balance. It can't affect the house I
It'll-
already have.
If you're on a
Correct.
fixed,
If
you're
I'm on a fixed
mortgage,
interest,
yeah, if you're on a
yeah,
It
fixed
can't
mortgage,
touch it. But
Right.
if I'm buying a new house, it 100% can.
Yeah, but
And my car that I go to purchase is going to be
Correct.
higher.
yeah.
Now, you want to know the scary part? I don't have the exact answers on this.
I'm like, no,
Oh, boy.
And
not
Dan
really.
Dan or Ken may have more or information about this, or maybe Christine does. The scary part is that
Yeah, can we? No
Hold
shit.
on,
I had a really good story too, Dad.
Hold on, Dan. We're almost to the end here.
We're waiting patiently.
The scary part is the debt that we owe
Mhm.
has been getting crazy, but still payable with the low interest rates.
Mhm.
If interest rates go up to 6 more times,
Never going to touch it.
we're never going to be able to pay off our debt. The United States government may
Do
end
you
up
think
having
we were going to pay it off anyway?
No.
well, not pay it off, at least be able to make the payments. We might end up defaulting as a country.
Who do we pay that to?
That would be bad.
That
Yeah.
would be bad.
That would be
It's
very
a
bad.
That
very-
would be
it's
like what, a
it's-
Greece?
Yeah, that would be technically a Greece.
We would
That
fall. The United States would fall.
there's
So
a
then
good
what?
chance.
Someone else would have to
I'm
bail
not
us out
entirely
that's
sure,
got the
and I
more
don't
money.
have all the answers. I was trying to do a little bit of research on this, and I couldn't find clear information. All I just know is that it is technically bad.
Think about it.
Well,
never-
it sounds
in the
terrible.
history, in the
That
history of
is-
the United
that
States,
is
it's
what-
never
that-
happened.
No.
That is where we're talking
Let's
about.
go, Brandon.
That's where we're talking about a possible economic collapse.
Can you
And,
imagine
and
being
you
the
brought up a
person?
good point. That is a Greece. Greece couldn't pay their bills. Greece couldn't pay their bills to their people. They couldn't make the payments. The idiots that sit
We
there
can
and think that-
100% not pay Congress. I'm good with that
the
shit.
people that sit there sitting on their ass at
That'll
home and
never
think that we
happen.
can just keep writing off, writing checks, and as long as there's
Invisible money.
guess what, the money won't be in the bank anymore
Right,
because we can't.
There
pay
is
our
no bank.
bills.
right.
I mean, there's a
So
reason
does
why.
that? So does that mean that we? Sorry, because this is the way my brain works. So does that mean we need to pull everything out in cash and hide our cash again?
Cash ain't going to be worth nothing.
I have been
the dollar.
watching.
The dollar's already gone down in value.
Well, it
you're-
is, but we're
with
still gonna at
inflation,
least
your
have it
your
because-
dollar.
My invisible money sitting in the bank, they can just snap.
Gold and silver.
Well, this gold and silver.
Where do I
nick-
buy that from? But I
Well,
can't
there's a
go
lot
to the
of
grocery
places.
store and buy groceries with gold and silver.
No,
No,
you
you
can't.
can't.
But
But the idea is the fact that gold,
will always
just
be
hold-
Gold
we'll
its
just-
value.
gold,
It's
and
worth
silver
something.
too, and now we're finding out all of a sudden that in our credit rating would go
Yeah.
in sugar.
It
But
doesn't
now
matter.
we're
You can't
finding
afford
out
to
that
buy
nickel
anything, Dad.
apparently is all of a sudden a huge commodity because guess where most of
Silver.
the world's nickel comes from? Russia,
Mm.
ironically,
Oh,
right?
Jesus.
So the funny thing is the fact that like gold is a prime example. So if you put your money, you hold it as paper money,
Yeah.
it keeps decreasing in value. Even if you had it sitting right here on the table, it
Yeah.
keeps decreasing in value. Gold, on the other hand, when times get tough, gold gets more valuable.
Increases, right?
But
And
I
so
can't buy groceries with that. Like I
No,
can't live
no,
on
you
that.
can't. But it's
you
But it's
convert
like a
it somehow.
savings.
I mean, economic
Yeah.
collapse, then we're talking bartering.
right.
Well, I
Right.
know that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what does it matter? Like,
Well, and then
It matters when your dollar doesn't buy you anything anymore.
But our dollar hasn't bought us anything in years.
when
there
all
may
you
be a
do-
point where gold is the only thing that allows
Right.
you to be able to buy.
Well, it's fine, but if I have a gold bar, what am I going to do with that? Break it up in pieces and trade it to
You
people?
barter that.
That's
you
why
barter it.
coins are better.
Yeah, coins.
Okay, where do I go to get coins? The bank?
You can actually buy them online.
There's a lot of monetary.
I can go to the
companies
bank
that-
too and just get them.
There's a lot of monetary companies that'll do it.
I don't know about the bank. That's possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
The
don't
bank
know.
has like gold dollars and stuff.
I don't know
gold.
about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm about gold.
Mm.
I do know that there are places where you can get actual.
Okay, you're depressing me. Can I get a drink and we talk about something happy?
We
Now
don't-
I'm coming up with plans.
So did you see that the
You guys
TSA
are getting late,
issued
huh?
over 6,000 fines in mask violations last year? Well, it's
Mask
actually,
violation?
yeah,
What?
ever since they implemented the mask
We're all
mandates,
sticky.
they've collected over $6,000 in fines.
Oh, that's crazy.
Senate voted to end TSA mask requirements, and the White House has promised to veto the bill. And then there's actually a cute video. It's on Facebook that talks about the missing Fauci.
Yeah, where is he?
He's been
Huh.
missing
Actually,
for
he
what,
showed
about-
up today. Did you see
What?
that?
No, I
Did
didn't
he?
see him. I don't
But I
watch
couldn't.
see
I
him.
didn't want to get rid of the article because I thought it was interesting. But yeah,
It's
they
empty.
so somebody I forget from where they went down to the NIH and was actually standing outside the building saying, "Have you seen Dr. Fauci?" And he's holding up a sign, like a missing sign.
A missing
I get like the milk carton.
It is
I
freaking
saw that,
hilarious. Because
Yeah,
all
you
these
remember
people
that
are
dad
walking by.
standing in line for bread? Who said they wanted bread lines? That they were a great
Bernie.
idea.
Bernie
Mr. Bernie
thinks that if there's
Sanders.
bread lines, that
Yeah.
means people are getting fed. But I thought this was interesting because this is Rand Paul here. Obviously, the Fauci doesn't want to give up his mask.
No.
So
Wait.
you forgot a really good story
What's
under
that?
the health and COVID.
What's
we
that?
talked about this, about New Hampshire and ivermectin.
Oh, I forgot about that. I
What?
did forget about
Yeah.
that.
So New Hampshire, their state, what do you want to call it?
Lady.
Medical Association.
Oh, okay.
Not medical association, but anyway, they are trying to pass legislation to put ivermectin as an over-the-counter drug.
Sweet.
Nice.
It's like
So you can just go up and ask for it? Hell yeah.
over the counter. You don't
It
need
is
a
not a
prescription.
dangerous drug.
Absolutely. Why is and I think that's great, and I think more states should do that and allow people to be in charge of their own health.
Absolutely. And especially, I mean, do it within reason. Like, don't give them 900 pills or anything like that. Because you
Right.
can overdose on anything. So you
Right.
can do the same thing on Tylenol. We're not restricting Tylenol.
Right. Absolutely.
Hey, Dan, did you see that the New York Times now admits that the Hunter Biden laptop was not Russian disinformation and is actually authentic?
I thought CNN said
Oh.
that too. Does CNN say it
Well,
What was that?
they're very, very quietly saying it.
Mm.
Is that just
They're
like
trying to do retraction so they have them on the record.
on the books?
But they
they're
they
not.
came out and said, maybe it was New York Times. They came out and said that Biden was compromised.
It might have been. It might not have been the Times. It might have been the Post that said that.
Mm.
Can I give a really big no shit?
Right. So DOJ is actually investigating Hunter Biden for foreign lobbying violations. So just bringing that up. Did you see this story? This is something.
Oh, wow. He's got good teeth in that. Those are fake teeth. Go back to that.
Hold on, let's move on. We got time.
Okay.
We got time restrictions here. So 4 Disney workers are among the 108 arrested in undercover sting for human traffickers and
Mhm.
sex predators.
Yeah,
What?
did you
down in
see that?
Florida.
Yeah,
Oh my
they were
God.
That is
the
crazy.
like the characters or whatever.
Well,
One
one was
was-
an IT guy.
One was a lifeguard at the water park.
Yeah. I know a couple of them were one or two of them were like the characters.
See what happens when you try to fuck with Minnie Mouse? What happens? They start
Right,
abducting
see?
children.
Oh
That's
my
what
God.
happens.
See, you took away the green M&M shoes and this is shit that happens.
Did you see the horrifying story down in Texas?
Oh, that is so sad.
Oh my God.
So
Oh.
9 people got killed in a 3-car accident, I think it was.
Was
and
it
the
3? I thought
driver
it was 2.
and the driver was a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
Jesus.
terrible.
That sucks.
So, I mean, horrible accident. Now, technically, I didn't know this until I read the story that in Texas, 14-year-olds can drive
with the permit.
Correct.
with a
yes.
permit. So
Instead of 15 here, it's 14.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
but they said the kid was only 13, so it was not legal.
They think that the vehicle had a blowout.
Crossed the line. I
Yeah.
do know
Yeah.
that the vehicle
Yeah.
crossed the line.
Jeez.
So the Biden administration is letting Ukrainians flee across into the U.S. from Mexico.
Of
Well,
course.
sure, why
Why-
not? Because
Why
you know,
would
that's-
that be a
that's wide
problem with
open.
our borders open?
Wide open. Come on
Wow.
in.
Yeah.
Biden is being sued for withholding info on controversial migrant housing contracts.
There's a ton of them. We still have them.
This article actually talks about Arizona. Right
We
here.
have
Oh,
a bunch
really?
of them.
Oh yeah,
We still have them.
I thought this was an interesting little picture here. Talks about bad to the bone Biden.
Yep.
So
He doesn't have his ice cream cone though.
quote of the week: Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter.
Very
Amen.
true. Very
Yep.
true.
Just wanted to bring that up. I mean, MLK has got so many great
Quotes.
quotes.
Yeah.
The guy I think was truly intelligent, and this one just really seemed to speak to me this week.
No, that's true.
I got a couple final thoughts. The big thing is, what the hell is Congress doing?
Right.
So, are they doing anything about immigration and anything on the southern border?
Nope.
Not a thing. Are they doing anything about the fentanyl crisis? Not a
Nope.
fucking thing. The economy or inflation or energy? Not a damn thing.
No, they're making it worse. They are.
They're trying to make it- they're trying to make it worse.
They are doing a lot for it, actually. Not anything good.
No, they're trying to make it worse.
They are
Crime.
doing a lot for
Crime,
it.
same thing. Crime.
Crime
They're
is out
actually
of
trying to make it
control.
worse.
It's out of control.
Yet, what are they doing with their time?
Nothing.
They're working on the Crown Act of 2022, and they're trying to make permanent
They
daylight
did.
savings thing.
They voted on it.
For what? The daylight savings?
Yes.
One side of Congress voted on it, the other side has not.
Okay.
And then the same thing with daylight savings time. One side voted on it, the other side is not.
Because that's the most important topic we have
That
to deal
is
with.
what we
Daylight
need to be
savings
worried about
time.
right now.
That's
Yup.
so important.
We don't need to worry about
You
gas
know,
being
and-
$6
and-
a gallon.
And I just wanted to
or
clarify
totally
the Crown
fine.
Act has nothing to do with, whether you're black, brown, green,
What
yellow.
is
I don't
Crown?
give a shit. The whole idea is the fact that if you want to clarify the laws to say that you cannot be discriminated against, period. I don't care what language you want to put in there. Just make it period.
Done.
No discrimination, period.
Done.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure
we
that's
should
where
not
some of their
target it
money
because,
is too.
what's the next thing? We need to make sure that if you have green eyes, you're not discriminated against versus blue eyes.
Yes.
I mean, that's just the insanity doesn't stop then. Stop
never
the
going to.
discrimination, period.
Because people need to be told in very specific language what they can or cannot do.
You cannot it's simple.
they
Rewrite
don't
it.
understand
Cross everything
general
out. You cannot
terms.
be discriminated against. Period.
Period. Right.
People-
That stops it.
I get that, but people do not understand general terms. They have to be told in very specific language.
So
Did you?
That's
I just wanted to ask. Did you spell that right? Is it really called the Crown or is it called the Clown Act? 'Cause that's really what it
Clown
seems like to
Act.
me.
And ironically, the funny thing is the fact that it actually follows several state laws that are already in effect.
Of course it does.
So
Okay, are we to the good stories yet?
Yeah,
we're
let's hear
almost
some
there.
uplifting ones.
it's down there.
What?
It's right there. It's
You're
right
still
there.
on the
See, it's
news?
there at the bottom.
The quiz of the week.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the uplifting
the heroic
story.
moments. So, the story about the fact that there were so many that would flee the country if we were attacked
Mhm.
Bye.
really just hurt me deeply because it's like, where did we go wrong in this country?
Where's patriotism?
What happened?
We don't care about our country.
this
You
is
know
why
that. That's why
I
we
see
are where
that,
we
like,
are.
Yeah.
And this is
It's
why I see several
self-
states that are trying to make,
Yeah.
It's all
civil,
about me.
basic U.S. civil history a requirement again in schools because of the fact that we need to start teaching a little bit more about.
We can't. We have too much critical race theory we need to put in there.
But we're stopping that. But it's just I thought this was interesting where it said many American heroes are famous people, but not all famous people are heroes.
Right.
The
Mhm.
people we identify as heroes are those who embody characteristics. Sorry, having a hard time reading. That we admire and aspire to, the best versions of ourselves.
Mhm.
Yep.
And these are not people that are trigger offended, cancel culture, or snowflakes.
Nope.
That's my own opinion. Because you sit there and you talk about, and this is something that Dan was here and we talked about, I don't know how many weeks ago, about Medal of Honor winners and soldiers and what what they do, and they rush into harm's way, and they have no regard for their own personal safety. And that I thought it was interesting. I actually went and checked it up and said that of the highest military honor you can have, which is the Medal of Honor, 18% have been awarded posthumously. It means that they had died in combat and they were given the medal afterwards. So, and those are those people that sacrifice themselves to be able to help their buddy
For somebody else.
or for somebody else. You know, and I thought a great one actually, if you don't know the story about Pat Tillman, he was
Local.
he was a local. He was in the NFL, had a great career going, and he
Like
actually
a $3 million contract or something
gave up
ridiculous.
his NFL career to join the Army and to be a Ranger. Not just to join the Army. He wanted to be the tip of the sword
So he can
right
go.
after 9/11.
Yep.
You see firefighters, they will always rush into harm's way. And you look at what, you know, the firefighters, the stories that you read about, the pictures you look at from 9/11 and the World Trade Centers and what they did. I mean, these firefighters had an idea that this was going to be bad, and they are rushing
Didn't
up
care
80 something flights of stairs. They didn't care.
save
People are
people.
streaming
to try to
out,
save
and they're-
one person.
and they're all racing up with hoses on their shoulders, racing up the stairs towards danger. You see the everyday citizens. They talked about, you know, United Flight 93, and I read the story this week about what they did, and they decided what they were doing, and the cockpit
Transmissions.
yeah, exactly. Thank you. That only
Well,
helps.
no, that
You
was
know, but the cockpit recorders and what they recorded and what the 9/11 Commission actually thought happened, and they were breaking down the door and grabbing at the yoke of the airplane and you know, doing everything they could to just, they were going to stop it.
Yeah.
And then the lesser known story I thought was interesting because I put it down here about the F-16 pilot. So Flight 93 was the third of the 4 aircraft that they realized was hijacked.
Yes.
And so 2 F-16s were scrambled. They were the closest ones to be able to intercept. They were scrambled. They had nothing on them. They had no weapons of any sort. And the pilots were already discussing amongst themselves,
To ram.
we're going to have to ram the aircraft with our own.
Oh,
Yep.
that's crazy.
I mean, these two pilots, these two Air Force
They
pilots
made that decision.
we're making that decision that we may have to, you know, this may go bad for us, but we're going to have to do what we have to do. And then, you know, you talk about how Martin Luther King, just because of the fact that he was, you know, I had him earlier, you know, he peacefully risked everything to stand up for what was right.
And he was killed for it.
So
Crazy.
All right, turn this off for a second.
Why
Where's
are
our
we going
good
to have
story?
something like uplifting?
I'm
I'm waiting.
I'm going to pull up. I got
Have one.
Dan's waiting.
Well, I want to hit a couple. I
Everybody's
want to hit on a
waiting.
couple of things before we do the quiz tonight. But I'll
Okay.
let you do the next thing that you're going to
because
do.
I unfortunately closed the quiz before I.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so I got to pull it back up.
I'm waiting for the happy story.
Oh, we got funny stuff for the quiz.
That's the quiz. The quiz is the
Okay.
happy story.
The Quinn is not the happy story. I have a happy story.
Okay.
After your story.
Okay.
You want to talk about it before I go?
You can
off?
do yours.
No, go ahead.
Let's
okay.
do a happy. We've been,
Okay.
let's
So
hear
I was
happy.
listening to the radio, and of course, please don't quiz me on this. You can look it up on your own. Like I was listening to the radio driving to work. So it was the story of these. So it goes way back to the Holocaust, to where a great grandmother was taken in by a woman in Ukraine who took in Jews to protect them, to get away from the Holocaust and everything, to run away. So she protected these people, helped them get away. Somehow the families had sort of kept in touch, but not really, you know. So the family is now living in the US. The Jewish family is now living in the US.
Okay.
And I mean, it's 4 generations. Like, it's a good amount of time. Helped the family get out of Ukraine because they smuggled her great grandmother. So they wanted to help them
That's
equally.
cool.
Oh,
a cool
that's
story.
awesome.
So I'm like,
That's
that's
very
super
cool.
cool. Like,
That's a
help bought him plane
heartwarming
tickets,
story.
met him in, like, I don't know, somewhere in between, brought him back, like, helped them get out of there.
Yeah, you're
I'm
hearing.
like, that's so cool.
Yeah,
again,
that's the
it-
stories you want to hear.
That's super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And 4 generations. Like, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
It is. Yeah. That's
That's absolutely insane.
I mean, you hear all these great stories, and you know, it's again, it's it's a blow to the psyche when you hear about all these people that would be willing to leave the United States if it was invaded. But on the other hand, you have these people that are refusing to leave Ukraine. You have Zelensky as
So
a
if
prime
they leave,
example.
do we have to let them back in?
Right.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Because if something like that happened,
You
they
left.
have
Bye.
they have to denounce their citizenship to be able to get out. I would
Right.
make that, but I mean,
You're not in
never
charge,
going to
John.
happen. But it goes back to the whole, you got Zelensky, who was offered, I think it was either 3 or 4 times by the U.S. administration
Multiple times.
to leave, and he said, "Nope, I am staying."
Nope.
Yep.
These are his
Yeah.
people.
Mm-hmm.
And so all
Captain
these
goes
people-
down with the ship, right?
and all these people. Well, and it's all these. I mean, they're willing to do what they have to do to be able to fight for their country.
Even though there's special forces, there's Russian special forces out there trying to take him down.
Yeah.
Like not even capture him; they just want to kill him.
Yeah.
That's just, and he's staying.
There's a price on his head,
Yep.
and I think all of the
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
all the PMs are
Mhm.
so it's it's sad that we have so many
I mean, if you,
non-Americans that live here under the
But-
protection of the United States.
So that goes to my point. So that's why I titled tonight's episode what I did, America's Resolve. We talked about how long America's been a country for, and the fact of defaulting is a scary thought. The fact that America could fall, but I think throughout history, throughout the years, American resolve has been very strong.
Yep.
And you talk about people fleeing if war were to come to our soil. Do you think America's resolve is gone, or do you think it's still there? You think there's enough people that would stand up, or you think there's enough people starting to wake up now, seeing this stuff, saying, you know what, enough is enough? It goes back to the point you made earlier, Wendy, that is it just because is media really the cause of this? The media gives the smaller groups more attention.
A voice.
So maybe it's really not the will of all the people in America. They just don't have a voice. They don't have a way to say, hey, no, we don't want this. Okay. But these small groups do. So, and that's how it was. It's that way by design. They set it up that way. I'm not going to say the Democrats did, but it's been happening since the 60s and 70s
Right.
to turn us in this direction. So my question is there a lot of people out there that really don't want what's going on right now? More people than not. What's your opinion?
It's you want to think that there's more people that want the U.S. to stay like it is, and that it's just a small vocal group that gets the attention because it's always the kicking, screaming kid in the store that gets the attention, not the other 10 that are in the store
That are being good
that
and
are being
following
good.
directions. And
so that type of a thing. But on the other hand, it's and there's all sorts of speculation. I'm sure Dan will type something in there. There's the alleged 80 million that voted in for this current administration. So it's like those types of things that worry you. And
that's what doubts
and
you. That's what makes you doubt. You're like, is there
there's-
really this many people? Did Arizona really lose to him?
And there's the uneducated. And when I say uneducated, I'm talking about the ones that don't do the research. They just read the headlines and they just take what they're told on
or they do
state
a
media.
popularity vote.
Or
I mean,
it was like you said earlier, Wendy, you've been this for hundreds of years. My family's always been this.
Right.
That's just what I do.
you just vote this way just
Yeah.
I may actually
because
take them
not
up on that.
not because it means anything
Can
or
I
they
be vice
understand.
president?
You can be vice president, but I could see Dan being Secretary of State.
Right.
All he's got to do is be armed with 2 letters: N-O, 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 N-O.
Is that, I want to be Peppermint Patty, or is that what Dad is?
No,
Okay.
that's press secretary.
Yeah, she's president. So
We've talked about this in the past.
Like, you're a hooker, sit down.
the other scary
Can I
thing I
ask you
wanted to
for-
bring up tonight too was something we kind of mentioned earlier. So, I grew up on the East Coast. I grew up on Long Island, which is the furthest east you can possibly go in the United States, right? So when I always thought about if I were to go over to Russia or Europe, anywhere in Europe, I would fly from New York over the Atlantic, right,
Mhm.
to Europe. But and maybe people do realize this.
maybe,
and
maybe
I
not. You
just
might,
been
go over the, you
naive.
might go over the Arctic.
Well, that's my other question. My other point is if you look at the gap between Alaska and Russia,
It's a lot smaller.
it's
isn't
only
it?
80 kilometers.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
small.
Is the
It's a-
distance.
yeah.
And there's an island actually. in
Right.
the
There's an
middle.
island right in the middle of it. So these people that tout about, not being worried about our borders being open and all
Russia's
that
so
shit,
far.
it's so easy.
It is.
Now, granted, they have
It's
to go through
close.
Canada. Yeah, I get that, but it's a lot closer than
Do
we
you
think.
really though?
Yeah.
You go to Alaska and then you come through California.
You still have to go
there's-
through Canada.
Alaska
Canada's-
doesn't
You
come
go
down
to
the whole
Alaska
coast.
and then you come back down to. I mean,
Well,
you're
if
already on a
just gonna-
boat
if
to get
you're
to
gonna go
Alaska.
through the ocean. I mean, I guess you can say that for anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But if a land invasion was to
And then
happen,
you literally just walk in through California. What are they going to do?
it's just a scary thought because we always talk about our borders being so porous that
Well, and
anybody
it
can
goes
come
back.
in.
You asked this question a handful of weeks ago about what's the one scenario that scares me the most, and so I'm reading a book actually about it now because I've read a couple that bring up the same scenario and the fact that. So the current book I'm reading talks about a collapse of the electrical grid, and to the point it was a hack by a state member.
And this is only a book,
It's only a book, a fictional book.
fictional
Hmm.
book. Yes.
Sailing
So,
until it
but-
comes true.
But we got offered by the Chinese to help, and Kamala Harris, being president in this book, said
Wow.
yes, absolutely. And so brings the Chinese in, and so once they land in take key spots of LA and New York, they start bringing boats and ships
You're done.
and airplanes full of troops in,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden it becomes a shit show.
Yep.
Yep.
And so it's just that's the part, because they were then having to the part of the book that's really interesting is the fact that the LA basin is actually fighting with the Marines from 29 Palms because of the fact that the LA basin residents are saying, no, they're here to help. They're here to help.
Mm,
And so, and it's just, and it's, so now we're all of a sudden having a pseudo revolution because we're having Americans fighting Americans. And it's crazy. And that's the thing
I think
does-
that's what it would come down to. But I don't think the other ones fighting would be using pistols
no, they'll be using skateboards.
and social media.
Yeah.
But I think if it comes down to it, fight or flight, you're gonna have a lot of fight. The flighting will go and that'll be easy, but there's gonna be a lot of fight because the ones fighting are not gonna go down easy.
No.
Well, the problem is though,
I
the
would
fact
agree with
that
that.
the crazy thing is when you look at it from the extreme sides,
Mm-hmm.
you have the extreme right who has a lot of weapons, but most of them have somewhat of a moral that they would not want to use that.
Right.
They're more
Versus-
for they just like
and
them
I,
and they're
and
cool.
I may be, I might be just generalizing, so I don't know. I mean, but on the other hand, you have the far left who have no problem going out and looting and burning and whatever. They may not necessarily have the guns, but they have no problem using Molotov cocktails.
Yeah.
and
They'll have
how many
TVs.
people were killed during the riots?
Yeah.
And they don't seem to care. There's no remorse
Yep.
whatsoever.
No.
So it's just it's those two extremes are what scare me because of the fact that you have the ones that have the guns that don't want to use them, you have the ones that don't have guns but they don't care killing you.
But you have the ones that have the guns and don't want to use them until you get to that point.
I think a lot of people, at least the people that I've known in the past that have guns, once they don't want to use them. You're right.
When push comes to shove,
it's the
though.
worst
But once
possible
you come
scenario
to
they
that
can do.
point,
But
yes.
but if you threaten their family or threaten their
Yep.
lives,
Oh yeah.
it's
Done.
on. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's just
Gloves
the way
are
it
off.
is.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you want to fight, you want to blow people up, go for it. You start coming towards me with all that jazz. Yeah, we're not playing that game anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're
Not
gonna
at
end
all.
this. Yeah.
We're done. Like
Yeah.
me or you, baby.
Yeah.
And I'm
And I'm
fine
gonna
with
win.
I'm fine with either.
Yeah.
Good with either one. So
All right, let's do our quiz.
Quiz.
Quiz
I
time.
thought you had a good story. Was
Yeah,
there
what
where's
was-
the, where's
so what
the
was-
uplifting stories?
What was yesterday?
St.
St.
Patty's
Patrick's
Day?
St. Patty's Day. So the quiz of the week
Of
St.
course, St. Patty's
is
Day.
about St.
So
Patty's
you want to know
Day.
what makes me very
Are
happy
we
is I
using
did not
letters?
have to deal with
We're
any
using
green
letters.
beer.
Okay.
All right. Lindsay, you ready for your speed quiz?
No.
What? A speed quiz?
Are you serious?
No, it's not a speed quiz.
Oh my god, that wasn't funny.
Can everybody play along at home? We got plenty
Yes.
of time left.
Oh
We got
my
plenty of time. I wanted to make
God.
sure that we
Okay.
had plenty of time.
All right, you guys play along at
So
home.
it is 11 questions, if I remember correctly.
I will remind everybody though, please put the number with your answer so we know what question you're answering.
A number with the letter.
With the
One
letter, yeah.
B is in
Boy.
sure.
All right.
And there may be some twists on this also.
Oh no.
Oh,
Why
man,
would there not
really?
be?
You're gonna
Because
do that
I may
to
ask
us?
for some off the cuff answers before I actually reveal the answers.
Really? Okay.
So there are 33.1 million Americans that claim Irish heritage, and every year, many more that claim it for just one day. Let's test your knowledge.
Yes.
Where was the first St. Patty's Day parade ever
No
in the
idea.
world? New York, Chicago, Boston, or Dublin?
Oh,
You would hope it's Dublin, but we know it's not.
that's a Boston.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going Chicago.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm going Chicago.
Actually,
on that
I'm gonna
one.
go with New York.
What?
New York's older.
Let me know when we
I was
get-
thinking New
let me know
York,
when we
but
get
I'm
our
like
answers.
the Boston likes to party.
The sad
Yeah.
part is I'm from New
True.
York and I should know this answer. That's the sad
Probably
part.
because it's
You
not
know
from
what?
New York.
It might be Boston.
Because they like to party. Like
They
they down for some partying.
Christine says D.
Kenny
Ken
says
either-
C.
It's either Boston or Dublin.
I don't think it's Dublin.
I
I'm
would
saying
hope
Boston.
it's
Oh,
Dublin.
I don't know.
Come on, let's get some answers up there. We got a lot of
Keith,
people.
let me
on.
know when you want the answer.
Taylor says
Taylor says
Boston.
Boston.
Okay, let's do it.
Do it.
Do it. I don't know where Dad is.
Boston.
Mom's
Boston. Hey, you got it.
Number 2.
Mom says A.
What year in Boston?
Oh, jeez.
really?
1637, 1737, 1837,
Oh, no.
or 1937? Giving you a 100-year range here.
Yeah, no kidding.
What was the answer for number 1? C.
Boston.
Boston.
Was it C?
It was
So
C.
Taylor and Dad got it right.
Okay.
I'm gonna say they weren't doing parades early on. Well, I mean,
2. Taylor goes with C
let's define a parade.
Ken goes with 2 with a
with a question mark.
question
I have no idea, Ken.
Yeah.
Full guess.
Come
I
on,
mean, a
get-
parade could be a few people marching down a street
Right.
and calling it a parade.
let's get to your answers up there. Christine says C.
Okay.
Taylor says C. Come on, Dad. Get it up there.
He's Googling it.
He's
No,
Googling
He's
it.
not Googling it.
Don't Google it, Dad.
No, he's not Googling it.
He
he's,
says
he's
C.
duck going it.
Duck,
Duck, duck, go. What is a duck, duck, go?
It's
You don't
the
know.
the non-tracking.
I know Mom was playing too. Come on, Mom. Put your answer up there.
Come on, Kathleen.
What's a duck, duck, go?
It's the non-tracking search engine.
It's a search engine.
Yeah, it's a search engine. So that you know how Google, when you search something, then you see all these ads afterwards. With this one, there is
Doesn't
no
do that.
ads.
You just search it.
it
Hmm.
searches it. What do you call that?
Did Mom answer?
No, let's give the answer. Let's go ahead.
Anonymously.
Anonymously. Well, you
Yeah.
can put on your.
1737.
B.
No way.
Did we get
Man.
anybody get it right
That's
on there?
crazy.
What did Kathleen say? I
No.
see she jumped in there
She
last.
said
That
C.
was a hell of a long time
Wow.
ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Shit.
Damn.
I had to look up and see just to make sure in case somebody knew. I had to look up and see when Boston was actually formed as a city.
Formulated.
So Boston became a city in 1628 or something
Wow.
like that.
What?
Yeah. So
Holy wowzers.
I just didn't.
okay. According to Irish lore, what did St. Patrick drive out of Ireland? Snakes, British soldiers, rats, or Viking raiders?
Jesus.
Lindsay's got that. She's got that look where she looks like she's confident, but
She's
I
got
think
rats?
she's totally faking it.
I'll go with snakes. I'll go with snakes.
I'm gonna go with rats because in 16 whatever, when all this crap happened, what was there? Those
I
rats.
wasn't-
I don't have a clue.
We gotta pick something.
Do Viking Raiders
All
because
right,
that'd be
all right,
funny.
I'll do it. Let's go.
Let me know when we got all our answers.
Go
Uh,
Boris.
We got A's, couple A's there.
Because the snakes would get rid of the rats. So you
Christine
might be
says
right.
A. Bios the book says
You might be
A.
right.
Taylor says C.
Because what do you have when you watched? What's that movie? What's
The
that
Pied
show we
Piper.
watched? I didn't even think about that. But what is that show we
Ken
watched?
says
That
A.
Mom and Dad's favorite?
Outlander?
No, Mom and Dad's favorite that we watched.
Game of Thrones?
Thank you. And there's rats everywhere.
Oh. You might
So-
be right.
Are we ready?
I think I might have to change here.
Everybody's going with rats. Bios the book says A.
Or it better be Viking
Christine
Raiders.
says A.
Better not be anything other than
Mom
rats
says
or Viking
C.
Raiders.
All right, go ahead.
Snakes.
Snakes.
Oh, we
The
need
snakes
to
are
change.
getting rid of the rats. Why would they do that?
I'm so
All
sorry.
right. Number 4.
I feel bad that I made you.
What are the odds of finding a 4-leaf clover?
Oh, Jesus.
I
This
was-
one I
I
want
was
to hear.
convincing
I want to
though,
hear
good.
your answers before I reveal them.
one in
One
like
in whatever.
percentage or like
No,
one in however.
whatever.
I mean, I have found them.
I found them
What
before
are the
too.
odds of finding a 4-leaf clover?
One in 20.
50.
1 in 20.
One
One in
What'd you say?
One in
in a
50.
million.
no.
No.
All right. 1 in 10,000, 1 in 1,000, 1 in 1 million, or 1 in 10?
1 in 10.
Okay, I'm going with my original answer. Even though I'm probably wrong, I'm going with my
I
original
like the
answer.
fact that he's going to double down.
Double down on
No,
stupid,
because I
right?
found them before.
Yeah,
They're
I
not
was gonna
super hard to find.
No, and I don't think it's 1 in 10.
And just
I
for the
think it's-
record, I have found this multiple times.
I'm gonna say okay because there is
Yeah,
a
but
there
there'd
is a
be-
good amount that you have to look through
I was just saying, think about that. Yeah.
because you have to look
Let me
through
know
more
when
I
than
we're
think
ready.
it's less than a
Nobody's-
million.
It's
nobody's
less
guessed.
than-
Nobody's
it's less
they're
than a
all
million.
duck going it.
Nobody's guessed yet.
Taylor
Because
says
now that we
B.
said duck go, everybody's got it
Duck,
up on their
goes it.
computer.
Kathleen
Taylor
says
hold
A.
on. Taylor says B. Mom says A. Ken says D as in dog.
Nobody's
Christine
going
says
with me
B.
on this. Come on, it's 1 in a million.
No.
1 in a million.
No, nobody's with
I've-
you on C
I
because it's
found
not right.
some,
We
so
found
no,
some. If it was
yeah.
1 in a million, I wouldn't have wasted my time.
But you're talking about how many clovers are there in the world? There's millions of them.
I get
Yeah, but I
that.
wasn't looking through the whole world. I was looking
Doesn't
through the
matter.
backyard.
I mean, just in a
we
in a
ready
field
yet?
In
in
a
small
little
square,
field,
I
there's a
found
good.
couple.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go. I'm gonna go
It's
1,000.
probably 1 in 10. Go
Shit,
ahead.
it probably
Ready?
is.
Yeah.
I found this multiple places.
I'm gonna
Multiple
disagree.
No
places.
way.
Disagree.
1 in 10,000.
And
There's not that many clovers on a
yeah.
bush.
What is an Irish box tea?
No,
Well, this
but
is
it
a
sounds
Irish
dirty.
booty?
Irish coffee, Irish car, Irish goat, or Irish potato cake?
Mm. What?
Oh, I'm gonna stick with B. I'm gonna stick with B.
I like Wendy's. Huh?
An Irish?
Yeah, because
potato
their
cake.
cars are kind of boxy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the car.
I'll go with that too.
Could be a goat. Can we go with the C? Could be a car or a
Where do you
goat.
come up with this stuff?
This is what he does at work.
This is not what I do at work, but it's funny because she
He
said to me,
does. He does
I
it during
know.
work.
"Do not."
You. Oh, I know they could be.
I do
listening.
not.
No,
Doesn't matter your salary. Who cares?
I was working on this last night.
Christine says
When
A.
you were sleeping,
No, before your dad came over.
you were.
Hey, how's Mr. Corky
Oh,
doing?
Wednesday night then.
He's doing good.
Christine
You're
says
not
A.
messing with this pacemaker on the.
Oh,
Taylor-
going anywhere?
Taylor says A.
he is going to try and test it with the car. to
Mom
see,
says C.
see what the limit is.
Of course he is. Why would he
course.
not?
Yeah,
Mom
I'm
says
not
C.
surprised.
So what are we gonna have at his funeral when he shocks his damn self?
So we got A, B, C, and
We
A.
told him not to. I'm putting that on his. It
Crazy
can't be
ass.
his
That's gonna-
tombstone, but we're gonna
him on
get
the urn.
shirts.
Oh, there you go. I told Corky not to fucking
All right,
not
go ahead
do
and
it.
reveal it.
Yep.
Reveal it.
Yeah, reveal it.
Everybody watching?
That's probably
Oh, I
a
like potato cakes.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah.
This one is a little confusing.
Dude, what do you put
which
on your
US
potato
city
cakes?
surprisingly holds the third largest St. Patty's Day parade ever since 1824? Now, I've heard conflicting that this
So
actually
which
might be the
city holds the third largest
St. Patty's
like,
Day parade. And they've
period or in the U.S.?
been in the U.S. In
So-
the U.S., third largest St. Patty's Day parade in the U.S. I'm sorry, I should have. Yeah,
Thank
U.S.
you.
city. It says at the top.
Surprisingly holds
Which
the third
US
largest, but you didn't say St. Patty's Day parade period. Like
Which
in the
U.S. city
U.S. or
surprisingly holds the third largest St. Patty's Day parade, and they've been doing it since 1824.
Well, it's
Okay,
not
so what's
Chicago
number
and New
one?
York,
Boston.
so-
What's number one?
It's either Chicago or New York.
So Nashville,
Shit.
Norfolk, Springfield, or Savannah.
oh,
Ooh.
I picked this question because it actually surprised me.
Well, yeah, given the things.
Keith
oh,
is-
that was my
Keith
other
is-
question,
Keith is
Christine.
studying this, hoping that the answer will like just jump out.
It's either
at him.
one or the other. I thought it was that too, Christine, but I'm going with A.
I'm gonna
Why,
go
what
with
did
this
Christine
one
say?
because all the other
Nashville
ones
or
are
Savannah.
bigger.
And I figured it was either that or Savannah. No, you gotta pick D. It's either A or D.
No, because everything else is a bigger city. Springfield, Massachusetts. Who's heard of that? He said it was
People in-
surprising.
people in
Springfield, Mass?
Massachusetts.
I've heard a lot of people are.
Really?
Springfield, Mass, yeah.
Never heard of it, but
I haven't.
people in Massachusetts have heard
Springfield,
of it.
Mass, just for the record, is like, an hour outside of Boston.
Is it mass
know.
ass?
We got a D. Christine says D. Ken says C. Taylor and Biles the book
Sorry.
say A.
Taylor, I'm gonna say A.
You ready?
No.
Kathleen hasn't guessed hers yet.
Kathleen, come on, stop
Hurry up, Ma.
Googling that shit.
She's boboing
She's
it.
looking-
What is
she's-
it?
she's-
Go? Bobo?
Duck, go. She's looking up. She goes, Springfield, Mass. What the hell? Who? Where is that?
Come on, Mom.
It's mass ass.
Come on, get your letter
Okay.
in there.
All right,
do
come
it.
on. Just
She's gonna
hit
lose
it.
it.
Hit it.
D.
Just hit it.
D.
Because she just Googled it.
All right.
Told you it was A
You
or
ready?
D.
Ready?
Ready?
Savannah, Georgia.
Told you it was
Georgia.
A or D.
I've actually found several articles that said that is the second largest. Now, I find that hard to believe because I can't believe that New York's is clearly the first
Right.
and Boston's the second.
Really?
And
They beat
Chicago's not
Chicago?
third, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Because, and I think part of that is because Chicago only lets their parades now on the weekends. They will not let a parade happen during the week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it will not, they will,
Interesting.
they stopped that decades ago. They stopped disrupting the downtown for parades.
I used to be in one time.
Did
Really?
you?
Yeah, when I twirled baton.
You did
Ooh.
too?
See, now I wish there was,
Awesome.
now I wish there was video
I
of
was
that.
in all the Festival of Lights parades downtown. For Arizona, like in December, they do it all the time.
All right, you ready?
I got to be the one
Number
with the flaming-
7. What does Aaron go bra mean?
Let's go, Brandon. Oh, no.
I should have put. See, now I feel
My
bad that
bad.
I should have put an E on there. Booger the English, Ireland forever. Let's drink and to all my friends.
You got to go. Let's drink. Come on.
Now tell me we're not meant for each other.
I think it's this. To all my friends? No, I don't know.
Up at the same time.
It probably is to all my friends, but
Let me know when we're ready.
that way, and we caught that on tape too. Which
Yeah,
is good.
it's probably
Right at the
like
same
Ireland
time.
forever.
All right, let's see your guesses up there. B, we
on.
got a B.
Let's do
Bias
the
the book
guesses.
says B.
Christine
Christine says
says
B. Taylor says C. Thank you, Taylor. That's why she's,
Mom says
It's
C.
probably B.
Come on, Ken, get your belt up there.
And Wendy's got to
he's
decide what she's.
he's Bobo going it.
I'm going to stick with the original because I seem to screw myself whenever I change.
I know. Don't change. Don't change. I messed you up last time. I was so sorry.
Come on, Ken, where you
No,
at?
it was good.
There you
It was
go.
convincing
Ken
though,
says
right?
C. We got a bunch of drinkers on board
All
here.
right, we're ready.
Let's do it.
Ireland forever.
I like let's go drink. Let's change that.
Man, a lot of people got it right. That's awesome.
All right, number 8. Where do leprechauns earn their gold? Before we put the answers up,
don't earn your
Lindsay,
gold.
where do they earn their gold?
They're hookers, but you don't earn
Where
your
do
gold. You
leprechauns
steal it.
earn their gold? How do you think they
steal
earn their
it.
gold?
They steal
They
it.
steal
They
it,
don't
yeah.
earn
Steal
Is
it.
that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
So they steal it. They steal it.
Rob it.
They rob it.
Yeah.
All right. So they do it by making alcohol. They do it by granting wishes. They do it by making or mending shoes, or they do it by growing potatoes.
No such thing as leprechauns, anyways.
There is some.
This is a stupid question.
No, it's not a stupid question
Wally, Weatherman, shut up.
because Dan wanted fun.
But granting wishes makes sense though, because
Don't be a bee. You change
I'm
your.
allowed to choose my B.
You're not.
I want to be.
All right.
You're
We
a
got 3
cheater.
Bs. What do we got on the
We
board?
got nobody guessing.
Ken
yet.
says B. Taylor says B. It's gonna be like making alcohol.
I know, right? Or
Growing
growing
potatoes.
Growing
Something
potatoes.
Stupid.
Let me know when we're ready.
No, we're still waiting. Well, Ken's got like 3 things up there.
Ken's answering.
Oh,
every
Ken's
answer.
laughing, and then
Okay.
yeah.
Come on, let's go. Get your answers up there. We know it's delayed, so we got a C.
Dad says C.
Christine
Christine says C. Mom says A. It's gonna be growing potatoes, y'all.
That I'm
All right,
thinking
throw it
it
up
is. Yeah.
Do it.
Making amendments. shoes.
Jesus Christ, really?
Why do they make shoes?
There's no such thing as leprechauns.
I don't
There
stop
is
it.
no-
I don't make it up. I'm not
It's
making
a
this
moot.
up.
It's a moot point.
I usually
is
try
not
to.
a moot
I
point.
try to verify every question and answer with at least 2 different sources, if
Is-
not 3.
Is one Bobo go?
I
DuckDuckGo,
do use
yeah.
DuckDuckGo a lot.
Oh, it's
Popo go.
Is that
All
because
right.
you would get?
This is another before we put the answers up.
Oh,
How many
Jesus.
pints of Guinness is consumed on
Oh,
St. Patty's Day worldwide?
a shit ton.
Shit ton is not an answer. I need a number.
A number.
I need a
I don't
number.
know. Worldwide.
Are we go-
Worldwide.
Pints. Okay,
It
hold
is
on.
just for the record. It is the only holiday that is celebrated in more countries.
Like every country almost.
Not
Yeah.
every country. I mean, I don't think the
Almost.
Muslims actually celebrate St. Patty's Day. It'd be kind of a
Might be the one thing they do.
conflict. But
But what is there? 17 billion people worldwide, right?
something like that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say 50.
But St.
No,
Patty's Day.
a
But
billion.
St. Patty's Day is
A
even.
billion.
But St. Patty's Day is
I'm gonna
even
say-
celebrated in places like Japan and India.
Right.
No.
Right.
I'm gonna say how many
Russia.
people are how
Russia
many people
celebrates St. Patty's
how
Day.
many people are worldwide?
17.
billion.
I'm gonna
Okay.
say 50
I'm gonna
million.
go with 15 billion pints.
I'm going to go with 2.5 billion.
50 million.
All right. So our
Okay,
answers
I'm
are
good.
1.3 billion, 130 million, 1.3 million, or 13 million.
What did I
'Cause you
say?
know you don't
2.5?
just-
I said 2.5.
You know you don't just have one pint.
It's definitely in the
I'll go with the billion.
billion.
I have an A, an A, an A.
We got nothing on the board yet, though.
No, Ken's laughing.
Everyone's like, what?
Ken's like, what the hell is this shit? Last week you did a Constitution test. Now we're doing St. Patty's Day.
Right. Well, we try
And
to
we're
be
still
we try to be,
failing.
you know,
I know.
Diverse.
diverse.
So we have a
Ken
D,
says
we have an A.
This is the
Christine says
uplifting
D.
part of the show.
This is. You don't think this is?
Mom says A.
We're already running over and we're having
Are
fun.
we?
We're having fun. Yeah, we rode by 5 minutes. Bios the book says B.
Come on, y'all.
Who else? Taylor, come on, throw your vote in there.
I'm gonna guess these Irishmen are gonna go like, full on tilt.
And I have the facts behind it too.
Well, if they're all Brian's of the world, then you know they're drinking.
So I'm like, Brian had like 8 pints yesterday. So
Right, that's what I'm saying. The
he
Irishmen
made up
So
for
he's
some of the
responsible for it.
Muslims.
Taylor
Are we ready?
says D.
Are we ready?
Let's do it. Let's throw it out there.
A.
13
What?
million.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
Really?
That's
According to
shenanigans.
Guinness, on any given
is
day, 5.5
sad.
million pints of Guinness are consumed around the world. But on St. Patrick's Day, the number is more than 13
Christine
million.
and Taylor got it right.
Wow.
That's sad.
That is
Awesome.
according to Guinness.
I think those
Not world
Irishmen need
records,
to step
but
up
the
their
actual
game.
beer maker.
Good job.
like, that's sad.
'Cause I didn't.
Why are we not drinking more Guinness?
Because
Sorry.
there's
Out of
people like me
there's
that
a lot
don't
of
like
there's
it.
a lot of people
I
in
don't
that,
like it. It's terrible.
in that
But Keith,
17 billion. A lot of
Keith
them are
had-
children.
Keith had mine for me yesterday. He had his and then he had mine. So we
Number
covered
10.
ours.
St. Patrick's Day used to be a dry holiday until what decade?
That's sad.
You mean
1790s, 1910s, the 1850s, or 1970s?
Hmm.
Are we talking about just in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Because prohibition.
Right.
This technically is worldwide.
Mm.
So you mean there was a time
used-
that they didn't drink
St.
on
St. Patty's Day used to be actually a religious holiday in Ireland.
Oh, really?
And we worship the leprechauns making shoes.
Yes. You have a problem with that?
I'm gonna go with I don't know.
They make good shoes.
17. I have no idea.
I've changed my answer
Come
3
on,
times.
Come
so.
on.
Wendy picked something other than A or B. So we have a better chance of getting it right.
Okay.
There you
Go with
go.
that.
Ken says
We know it was in the 70s.
Taylor says C. Ken says B. Christine says D. Nobody's jumping on A with me here.
I started with A and then I changed my answer.
Ale was
3
big
times.
back in the day.
Are we ready?
What?
Gotta wait. We got a couple more guesses coming in.
Taylor says C. Ken says B. Ken says D.
Kathleen says
Kathleen
D.
says D. Dad,
Where's Bios the books?
look, you're freaking out the cat.
That's all right. I can live with that.
He's freaked out.
B. All right, put it up there.
Okay, go.
1970.
Until
Really?
the 70s.
Really?
Really? That late? It used to
Wow.
be just a strictly religious holiday.
That's surprising.
It is, yeah.
That's very surprising.
Number
Dad,
11.
you should have known that.
St.
Oh, he did.
Patrick's Day actually celebrates what day?
Is this the last question?
Technically. St. Patrick's birthday, St. Patrick's death, the Irish Rebellion, or Ireland Christianity?
Well, I mean, logically, you would say St. Patrick's Day would be his birthday, right?
No.
Or it could be his death.
I don't know why you're asking
No,
me. I'm
because
not gonna give you
Christmas
the answer.
isn't.
Usually we celebrate saints after their death. Huh.
I'm going to go with death.
Yeah, me too.
Crazy Irish. You never know what they could be celebrating.
I was gonna say, is it?
Tuesday. Sounds good.
I'm gonna go with
I
this
don't
since
know.
it was a dry holiday. It was a religious
Oh,
holiday.
what?
I could be wrong though.
Taylor says, Ken says A, Taylor says A, Christine says B. I'm going with the death because usually I don't celebrate.
I'm going to go with C. I'm going to be
saints.
different.
Okay.
Because Irishes rebel a lot.
They do.
And we celebrate it.
They do.
We're feisty.
Are we ready?
It's
Nope.
fine.
Got a couple more guesses up there.
All right.
Okay, 11. We got a A from Taylor and an A from Kenny, a B from Christine, a D for Kathleen, and a C for bios to books. Let's do it.
All right,
Do
we're
it.
good. Yep, everybody's up there.
St. Patrick's death.
Oh, good job.
Now, St. Patrick is actually famous for bringing Christianity to the island.
Well,
To the island, but the day is actually celebrating his death.
So is he like a real person?
Yes.
Yes.
Apparently.
Yes. So there's
Why
a
are you
whole
judging me right
there's
now?
a whole well, I say that only because there's a whole story about the fact that it talks about he was actually he was kidnapped at 16 and brought to Ireland. He was not a saint. He was never like, whatever the Pope does to make you a saint. All that kind of stuff. It's really interesting story, actually. I don't remember, but some of the other facts, I had some other facts in here that I came across that I thought were interesting, but didn't want to put them into the quiz. While cabbage and corned beef are considered a traditional St. Patrick's Day dish, it is not an authentic Irish meal. It was created by Irish American immigrants.
So
Oh.
good.
Interesting.
This picture actually is from there's a great Daily Wire, not Daily Wire, but it was a
It looks like it's photoshopped.
It
no,
does.
this is actually taken in Dublin. To celebrate St. Paddy's Day in Ireland, Dublin hosts a huge festival that lasts 4 days.
Cool. It's a lot of drinking.
In the 17th century, green became associated with St. Patrick's Day. Blue was associated with the holiday originally.
Interesting. Very interesting.
That's interesting. Why did it change?
Yeah.
No idea. In 2020, the New York City St. Patrick's Day parade was canceled for the first time in over 250 years.
Thank you,
When you
COVID.
think
Why
about
would
it.
it not be?
2 world wars did not even cancel.
Right.
Nope.
Wow.
But COVID did.
But
COVID,
Biden did. Thank you,
Corona.
sir.
Well, technically, that would have been
Trump.
President
Yeah, that was Trump.
yeah.
St. Patrick's Day is considered to be the luckiest day of the year to get married, unless it falls on a Saturday, according to Irish proverb.
Huh.
Marry on Monday for wealth, Tuesday for health, Wednesday for the best day of all, Thursday for losses, Friday for crosses, and Saturday for no luck at all.
Jesus.
Crap.
Crap.
So we all got to get hitched on a Monday?
Or Tuesday.
I'm good with
Well,
Monday.
Wednesday says the best day of all. But
Oh, we could do Wednesdays.
There you go.
All right.
So you got to change it, huh?
Apparently,
very cool.
we all got to go to the courthouse on a
There
Wednesday.
you go, Dan. Just for you, buddy.
That was fun. That was exciting. I'd like to know where leprechauns and all that crap came into
play.
right?
Probably.
And
Yeah.
4-leaf clovers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
If he was like a real person, I thought it was just a holiday.
Probably just like Santa Claus. I mean, someone started it.
Yeah.
Thought it was a
Christine
good
actually-
The
idea.
Easter Bunny.
So to Christine's point about the fact that
Hey, the Easter
born
Bunny's
He
real.
was born in Britain. I've read that a couple times, but I also found some conflicting stories that said that he was not actually born in Britain. So I'm not entirely
Mm.
sure that that's true, but I found more stories that said that is true than not. So
Okay.
Was he really Italian?
that I never heard of
That's
before.
interesting.
Considering the fact that he was born in the UK, for most of the things that I've read, I would doubt it that he was Italian.
Interesting.
We don't
And they
know.
don't know for sure where he's buried, but the general thought is that he's buried outside of a Catholic church in not Dublin, but some small town outside.
Well, he's
of
a
Dublin.
saint. Aren't you supposed to be outside Catholic churches?
But it's weird
But
that
he's
they
never been sainted.
He's never
by
been
the
ordained
Pope.
as a saint.
right.
Yeah.
And I was just
So
going to
how do you
ask,
become a saint then?
I would. There
That's just a
lies,
title.
Somebody
give
called
him.
you a saint?
You know, back in the
So I can call
things
my
were-
puppy
things-
dog Saint
things were a
Bill
little-
and then she'll
things
be
were
a
a
saint?
little looser back in the 1700s. or
I bet they
1600s.
were.
but why did they celebrate his death? That to me is kind of weird.
because
They usually do though.
don't
That's
the Irish
when they usually
also
celebrate.
But what
they
did he
usually
do?
celebrate
it's
his
a
death.
celebration of life type
Right.
thing. So
Right.
I think that's where
Oh,
it
okay.
technically kind of starts from. So again, it was a religious holiday.
Religious
Until the
how though? Like what
until
did
the
he
crazy
do?
70s decided to make it a something.
A drinking holiday.
Yeah, you know.
But
the-
what did
the
he
whole
do?
Dan and Kathleen era.
Is that why my middle name is Patrick?
There you go.
That makes me wonder.
Now
Now.
all of a sudden it starts to click together.
Everything makes
Mm.
sense now.
All my we were all named after saints. Our middle names were all saints.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So if St.
Oh,
Patrick had
Lindsay's
no,
doing the math now.
so St.
Technically, you were early.
so St. Patrick had no real contribution, I'm going to be really friggin' bummed.
And you were technically, you could have been a St. Patrick's Day baby. You were early.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I was.
March, April, May,
doing
June,
December,
July,
though.
August,
I wasn't-
September,
I
October,
wasn't doing
November.
March.
Yeah, you could have. That'd have
I
been.
wasn't doing March. I was doing December.
That's
Oh,
what I'm
that'd
saying.
be-
You were
that'd be-
2 months early.
that'd be
March,
way-
April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December is 9 months. You were 2 months early.
Hmm.
Maybe you were a St. Patty's Day baby.
I doubt it.
Mom was swinging from the ceiling fans.
She was a little saucy that
A
night.
little
huh?
saucy that night.
You
Got a
got
little woo.
Now you got her laughing. She's back at home.
She's dying. She can't even breathe right now. Like she has to go get her oxygen.
Oh,
What was it last week? She yelled at us. I couldn't even breathe. You guys are making me laugh so hard. Like, I didn't do it.
All right. Well, that's it for us. We are out of time for this week's episode. We
There's
appreciate.
No hooker. I'm so
there's
sorry.
no-
Sorry, there was
I will
so much.
get one.
There was too much news.
Nobody did put anything particularly hookerish this week that I knew of.
I'm just talking about, in the realm, Dan, of when it was accepted, I guess.
Oh,
Dad,
Christine
you're not supposed to
said
be that old.
He was known as the Apostle of Ireland. It's interesting.
Oh.
Okay. So maybe he wasn't bad after all.
I believe you. It was not dry.
Makes me feel a little bit better.
If Dad was working on St. Patty's Day, Mom didn't get knocked up on St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, right.
He had to come home eventually.
It's true.
Exactly.
It's true.
Exactly.
As long as he was home before midnight, right? Or it could have been before work. You never know.
Could have been
Yeah.
before work.
Kids
As
are at
always, we
school.
want to thank
You never
everybody
know.
for joining us tonight. We
You're
really
making
appreciate
Keith
it.
uncomfortable.
Time to end the show. As always, we want to thank our military veterans, our
All of a
people that
sudden,
are
he
currently
wants out
active,
more
He's
than
really
anything.
done. It's over. We can't do this anymore.
first responders, and who did I miss? Medical staff. Thank you for your service.
Peace.
Please don't forget
Bye.
to subscribe. I'll end with the video we started the night with in case anybody missed it.
Rumble.
Yeah, go
Yes,
go
go to
subscribe on
Rumble.
Rumble.
There's
Help us out on
3
Rumble.
people on Rumble right now. Thank you
Yes.
very much. Somebody needs to be there because we're definitely going to get kicked up.
Everybody, do me a favor. Go share our Rumble page with at least 5 people right now that you know.
Or
do us-
Keith's
do
going to
us
get
that
freaked
favor.
out.
Not really.
Anyway,
Anyway.
we can talk about St. Patty's
Let's go,
Day again.
Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Have
Let's
a
go,
good weekend,
Brandon.
everybody. We'll see you next Friday.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Mr. President, for giving me the floor. I'll make this brief. In your little over a year in the presidency, you have managed to cause a 40-year high inflation. We now have gas prices over $7 a gallon. We have Americans still left in Afghanistan. Russia's invaded Ukraine. There's a war going on the brink of World War III. We have out-of-control spending within our government. We have the worst border crisis ever, not to mention the entire COVID debacle over the last 2 years. We're an embarrassment. We're an embarrassment to the rest of the world. And quite frankly, I don't know how 80 million people ever supported you. Or did they really? All I can say is let's go, Brandon.
Thank you, Boris. And I want to thank that fellow down under. Thank you very much, pal.
Biden was